All right, and we're live. Oh, and we got a follower instantly. Thank
No
you,
way.
British Apple 15, for the follow. That's a great way of starting
Wow.
this live stream off.
Wow. Way to go, British Apple.
Yes. Can we get over a round of applause real quick?
Woo! Yeah.
All right. And Ronnie just died. So, anyways, thanks you guys for watching. If you'd like to support our channel, please check our Patreon.
Okay.
And Ronnie, are you okay?
Yeah, I just accidentally, using my feet, pushed a bunch of Legos off my Lego table and they fell apart, but I'll fix them later.
Okay. This is a great start. So, obviously, I'm your GM. We've already... Ronnie, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, of course. I'm Ronnie. I play as Lilro. For those of you who have Chapter 1, definitely go give it a watch. I watched it last night. I got hype.
All right. And we also have two commentators today, Ben and Tyler. Would you guys like to introduce yourself?
Yeah. I'm Ben. I play Grim.
Yes, he's in another part of the campaign right now, and Tyler is going to be in one.
Yes, I am. I'm Tyler. What's up?
All right, and they'll be watching along with us and commentating here and there. If you'd like to say anything to us in the chat, make sure you at them. So, anyways, you guys ready to start our campaign?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Ronnie, would you like to give a little recap of what happened last session?
All my audio just cut out. What'd you say?
Would you like to give a little recap of what happened last session?
Hello? Hello?
Okay, I think
he froze on my screen.
Yeah, his internet's being dummy.
Hello? I can hear you guys now, so that's an improvement.
That's better than nothing.
Okay, I can see everything. I can hear you now.
Okay.
I should be good to start.
All right. Well, two of my viewers, sorry about that. So, Ronnie, would you like to give a little recap of what happened last session?
Yes. So, Lilro was born. He grew up. He's about 15 and a half now. Living his life outside the walls of Nabia, which is a city in the south of the world that we are set in. It's a major trading port. Other than that, I mean, I got a job as a dock boy. I'm learning a lot at school, trying to better myself through studying. Other than that, there's really not a whole lot to my character yet, but oh, and he loves apples. This is important information.
Got it. Wow. All right. So, as we go back down, I'm going to turn on some music.
Oh yeah.
All right. So, as we go back to Nabia, our hometown for this adventure, we see, as the sun is rising once again, another day passes by for Lilro, and he knows that this night is kind of a special night, because this night is another night of the presidential campaign of yet another politician that he is yet to meet. As we go down, we see his mother working early in the sunlight and sort of sweeping up an area and cleaning things with dish towels. And you notice that Ekimon, your teacher, walks in and starts talking to her.
Always. Okay. I noticed that in the last session too, that she had been talking to him a lot. So, can I hear what they're talking about?
From your perspective, it's just seeming to be whispers.
Hmm. Can I try to make an insight check on their facial expressions to see if it's like a serious conversation or more just kind of like talking?
Yeah, make an insight check.
All right, we're gonna get an 11 on that one.
All right. As you look at their faces, you can't really tell like what they're exactly talking about, but they seem pretty stern.
Okay. Well, I'll leave it be for now. What, as far as my typical daily schedule, do I typically go to school in the mornings like this, or do I go to work first?
You seem to go to work first early in the morning, and when you're let off, you spend the rest of your remaining time in school.
All right, then I guess I'll head to work.
All right.
How old is Lilro right now?
15 and a half.
Nice.
So, as you head to work, it seems like a normal day. The clouds are all over the sky, and you walk over to your boss, whose name is Adamon. He's a merchant with lamb chops and seems to be a human. He leans over the counter and says, "Hey, boy, what took so long?"
Sorry about that. I was awoken by my mother, and she seemed very concerned about something. But I'm here, and I'll make it up to you. I'll definitely do a lot of work for you today.
He says, "Something seems off about you today. You're an hour late."
I'm very sorry about that, sir. Don't hold it against me. It was a one-time thing. It won't happen again.
He says, "Don't worry about it. I have something to talk to you about anyways. I'm going to let you off early today. I just need to talk to you."
Of course. What would you like to talk about?
He puts his arm around your shoulder, and he leads you back towards the stock area where you do most of your work. And he points over over at another young tiefling. Seems to be younger than you. And he is hard at work in the merchant shop and stocking things. And he says, "Do you know who this is?"
Do I know who it is?
No, it just seems to be like a tiefling.
No, sir. I do not know who this is, but he appears to be working very hard, so that's a good thing.
Yes, lad. He's quite the good worker, and he'll be replacing you.
Replacing me?
Yes. Do you know what you did wrong?
No, sir. I can only imagine it's because I'm late.
Yes, that would be quite the funny story. One late day and you'll get fired. Anyways, all jokes aside, I'm giving you a raise. You're gonna be my official co-merchant.
Sir, this is amazing. I don't know what to say. Thank you.
Don't worry about it. There is a pay raise, but that's not the main concern for you right now. There's going to be more responsibilities. You see, since I run the front counter, I'm the face of this shop, and when I hire someone like this, it means I'm very serious about them. I want to know what they can do. So I'm going to test it out for a little bit. If it doesn't work, I'll fire this young lad, and you'll go back to your other job. But if you take a good work to this, I'll let you continue, and maybe even take over for me one day.
Some chance. You're gonna live a long time, Admon.
He says, hopefully the gods grant me that life. And he turns over to you and goes back to his sort of chest area where he keeps most of his money in pouches. And he grabs 5 silver for you. And he gives it to you. He says, "This will be your daily pay."
Daily?
Yes, daily.
Sir, this is incredible. Thank you again so much. What do I need to do to prove myself to you?
Well, like I said, you're going to be the face of the shop every once in a while when I'm not around. You need to make sure you open very early and serve to customers with a smile. but be very stern with your prices. People can't haggle you down because we don't want another famine to happen and have all of our stock just be sold out. He says
Of course.
that there's going to be more responsibilities, like he said, but also don't take it too personally. But how this place works is you take advantage of child labor as much as you can until they reach a certain age where they realize they can do much better somewhere else. And I didn't want that to happen, so I'm giving you a raise.
I appreciate it, and I will do my best to follow in your footsteps. You've been nothing but kind to me my whole life, and I appreciate it.
He says, don't mention it. Go off and go tend to your mother. Just take the pay for today.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I will be back on time, even early for tomorrow.
Oh, see it that you will. And as he does, he walks over to the other tiefling. He seems to be a wide-eyed young brat that has pretty short hair, pretty shaggy, and is hard at work. You see the merchants working him pretty hard. Do you wish to do anything?
Is he working him about as hard as he works me?
At the
Usually?
beginning, yeah.
Okay, then I'm not concerned. I mean, it was a decent job for my childhood, so I'm not worried about that. I guess I'll go back home, and if I have extra time today, then I'm gonna use that extra time to study.
All right. And as you head back, you see your mom standing over in her corner with a box. Seems to be wooden, and she is placing it on her bed. She looks at you and says, "Oh, you're here early. What about work?"
It's fantastic news. Mr. Admon is giving me a raise, and I'm going to be co-merchants with him instead of just a stock boy.
Oh, I see. That's very good news. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you, Mother. Now, is there anything I can help you with since I have extra time today?
Oh, don't worry about it. Actually, there are some new people in town. There's a young lady who's wanting to be a priestess. I'm going to be training her for a little bit, just to show her around the place, so I won't be able to talk to you very much today. If you want, go to school early today.
Of course. Might I ask what this young lady's name is?
Oh, that doesn't matter. She's just one of the young priestesses.
I should hope to meet her soon then.
Yes, I'm sure
if
you will
that's
in
all,
passing.
then I will head to school.
All right. She waves goodbye to you and takes the box from her bed and places it under it.
Interesting.
She walks away.
I'm heading to school.
All right. You head over to your master's place, and Ekamon is there waiting patiently for you. You see he's reading a couple scrolls and writing something down with them. He looks up at you and says, "Oh, you're here early."
Yes, sir. I actually got a raise at work, but my boss said I could leave early for the day, and so I came straight here. I'd like to get as much studying in today as possible.
Well, all right. Hopefully you will have an open mind today, because I might be able to teach you something new.
I always enjoy learning about new things. What do you have today?
Well, traveling merchants have come in and, they've sold me quite a bit of goods. I spent a great deal on these, and I'm allowing you access to them because you've been such a good student. He says, these are scrolls from around the world and contain various languages and exact copies of them in common. What I'd like you to do is, rather than studying with your tools today, if you would like, study one of the languages I have here.
I would love to. What languages are there to choose from?
Let me pull it up for you. He tells you that there is a scroll for Gnomish, there's a scroll for Halfling, and there's a rare scroll for Draconic, and there's a very, very rare scroll for Dwarvish.
Ooh.
He says, pick one, choose wisely.
Yes, sir. In your opinion, Mr. Akamon, which of these would you say would be the most useful?
Well, what do you want to do with your wife, young lad?
I've made no secret about my dreams of creating a sort of ale empire. I desire to create the finest apple ale in the lands, and I would like to sell it everywhere that there are ports to ship.
Oh, you're looking for ports now, aren't you? He says, well, this would be a great place to ship it out if you're looking for sea travel. So,
Well, yes, that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping to start here and expand to the rest of the world slowly over time.
yes, mainly you don't see many dwarves around, obviously. Not very many dragonborn come around here. I mean, every once in a while we'll see a gnome, but it's mainly halflings that you're looking for. I mean, they'll be a very good place for your income. If you knew their language, it might even help you.
That makes a lot of sense to me. Out of character, this is a tough decision.
My man's getting learned.
I don't know. I mean, I know which one I would choose, but
Which one would you choose,
I-
Ben?
Well, I wanted to choose Dwarvish, but then again, like I'm thinking in character, my character's never seen a dwarf. From what I've read about the lore, a lot of people don't even know if they still exist.
Yes, dwarves are very, very
narratively-
rare.
Yeah, narratively, I'm not sure if my character would actually choose that one. I think I was just wanting to choose it because I know they're rare.
but you sound so okay. I guess from the sound of it, your character seems very intuitive, like wanting to know anything about everything.
He really is just trying to learn about everything he can while he has access to a school. But also, he really admires Mr.
Hello?
Mr. Akamon and would want to take his advice.
I would say either take his advice or Dwarvish also makes sense if you take it too, just because, very rare. It seems like it catches your eye, something,
Right. I'll ask him, if I choose one of these and I learn the language well, would I perhaps be able to study another language sometime?
It is very hard to study multiple languages. You would have to be very good at it. And, since you're just now learning, one language will probably take you a year. If you choose a harder language, it might even take you a couple years.
Well, I do always set my mind to do my best at everything I do here, so if you say it'll take a year, I'll do my best to get it done in half. But
Oh, wow,
for starters, I will choose Halfling on your council. As you know, I do look up to you and respect you as a mentor.
He looks down, kind of sullen, and he gets on one knee and kind of pats your shoulder and says, "If you want my honest opinion, don't take time into account. Take the one you want most, because I don't know how long this will be here."
I'm gonna make an insight check to kind of try to see what he means by that, because I saw he looked sullen.
Yeah. Okay.
Ooh, that's a good one. All right, we have a 17.
Oh, a 17. You look on his face, and he looks like he's very deep in thought. Almost like he is thinking about those scrolls and the future with them.
Sir, risking overstepping my position here, I just would like to know, did you obtain all of these scrolls legally?
He looks over at you and kind of twirls his mustache in thought, and he says, "Oh, you need not worry about me, lad. I obtained all of them legally. I spent all my wares trying to get them. I am running out of money. But that is no concern of yours. I just want to make sure you have the best teaching you can while I'm still around."
You act as if you're going to die soon. But
No, no,
from your
no.
age, you seem to have a long life ahead of you.
Just in case that I have to take on new students, and I won't have that much time with you.
Well, I certainly respect you for telling me this. Well, as you said, I should choose the one I want most. And honestly, I've always been fascinated by rare things. Now, to choose between Draconic and Dwarvish is a difficult choice, but I think I shall go with the latter. I will study Dwarvish for this term.
Here, let me tell you something. Do you know anything about the dwarves?
Well, all I know is that, well, I know of various rumors floating around, but all I know for sure is that they're very rare to see. But there are several rumors going around, all of which have different narratives of what has happened or is happening to them. And honestly, maybe if I learn the language, I could find out the truth.
Well, that is certainly a noble task. But I will tell you, all these rumors you've been hearing about the dwarves and their whereabouts, don't give them any credit. As I've taught you, some people think that the dwarves live underground beneath us. They would go mad, surely, and kill one another if they didn't see any sunlight. They must be hiding away somewhere in the mountains. That's what the ancient tomes I've read all say about the ancient dwarves. Is they used to live in mountains and strongholds in the coldest areas.
Interesting. Well, if I am indeed going to expand my empire to all corners of the globe, then I would need to be able to sell to dwarves in the mountains if they do exist.
Yes. Another thing to think about is in all the tales of the dwarves I've read, all the folk song and all that, they seem to be very hardy creatures. You might even be able to sell them this ale if you make it absolutely perfect. You might be able to make a great deal of money off of them.
I should hope so. That is my goal.
Well, anyways, here, since the scroll is rare, I won't let you take it home, but as long as you're here with me, I'll let you read it and study it.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
And I'm going to try to get right into studying.
Okay. So, as Edamon sits down in his rocking chair, he's studying one of the scrolls. It seems to be halfling, and he's writing things down. And he goes back over to his desk and tries translating something. So as you continue studying, it gets to be about nighttime, and it's about time to go back home if you want to do that.
Okay, well, you and I both know that's not where I'm going.
Yes, I do know.
I'm gonna head to the party.
All right. So,
also, I'd like to try to figure out if perhaps my reason for coming in late to work was because I was out too late last night and didn't get enough sleep.
So, I'd like you to roll an insight, but this will be a very easy check.
Okay, cool. Well, we got a 6.
You know that you did sleep in a little bit too late. Usually you're like, you have an internal alarm. Your mom doesn't need to wake you up, but this time it was thrown off by something.
Interesting. Okay, so I am going to go to the party and try to make connections there. However, I'm probably going to leave early tonight.
Okay. So, I'm going to fast forward through this a little bit because it's mainly what you just saw the other night, except a little bit more crowded as there are more and more people at the ale lines. Do you wish to drink?
No, I'm not going to drink tonight.
Okay. So, I'm going to make you do a persuasion check.
Ooh, I am actually okay at these. That's a 16.
16. As you ask around, like, if any important figures, you do hear rumors that one of the presidential advisors might be in the crowd watching.
Interesting. Do I, now, when I was at the party yesterday, I met an advisor, correct?
You did, but this is not the one they're talking about.
Okay. Do I see the one I met anywhere?
You see him kind of in the corner talking to another man.
Alrighty. I wonder if that could be the other advisor. I'm gonna keep an eye both on that guy that I met already and the guy he's talking to, and kind of just keep track of them through the night.
All right.
I'm gonna try to. How long did the party last night?
It lasts about 5 hours.
Okay, I'm definitely gonna leave at probably like the 2 or 3 hour mark. Try to get an extra couple hours of sleep so I can come in hopefully a little early tomorrow for work.
All right. So as you continue, make a perception check.
All right, that's a okay with the modifier. That's only a 17.
17. As you continue, one of the bards goes up and they play their songs, and you keep your eye on the two advisors. The one you met before seemed to be indifferent, maybe a little judging at sometimes, and the other guy even more so. He seems to be crossing his arms, and his brow is furrowed. You eventually get to the second one. Same thing. Furrowed brows, judging looks. And then as soon as the third bard goes up, bard party, you see the guy he was talking to goes and gets drinks.
Alrighty. I'm gonna keep watching him.
All right. So he goes and gets what seems to be 3 very small drinks and holds them in his hand. And as the bards go up, he downs all 3 of them in quick succession and tosses them to the side. And he seems to be a little bit more loose now. And he whoops and hollers at the bards, saying how good they are going to be and the anticipation that he's waiting.
These must be his candidates' bards. Okay. Good to know.
This would be the 6th
The way the
candidate.
parties work. Go ahead.
This is the 6th candidate so far. The first 3 were last night. These are the new 3.
Right. Before the bards go up or during or whatever, do they announce what candidate they are for?
Yes, they do. I've been skipping over the names because I wasn't sure if you wanted to hear them.
I'll probably get you those from you like later,
okay,
or maybe during a break or whatever.
Okay.
But for now, I do want to pay attention to these and what candidate they are for.
Okay, so you're just memorizing those?
Yes.
Okay. So, as the bards play, it seems to be a big band with a very upbeat song, and people start dancing all around you. Some people look awkwardly at you as you're kind of just standing there with no drinks. And you see the other man that was talking to the man you knew start dancing with a young female.
Do I recognize the female?
You do not. Seems to be a tiefling, though.
Do I see Larissa anywhere?
Larissa, as you've looked before, you cannot find her.
Interesting. Okay. She said she would be here, but if she's not, oh well. I have more important things to tend to. How many hours have passed since I've been here?
It's been about 3 hours.
Okay, then I'm definitely going home.
All right. So, you head back home, and it seems to be moonlight. It's just streaming across the sky. A couple clouds here and there. And you head back. And as soon as you approach the chapel area, what's your passive perception?
Passive perception?
Yeah.
That's going to be a solid 10.
Oh, okay. So as you walk back, you are heading on the trail that you usually take, and off the trail over to the right, you hear something, almost like a whimper.
Like the whimper of an animal or a human? Or
Insight.
like a humanoid? All right. We got an 11.
You can tell it's definitely humanoid, but you're not sure what.
I couldn't tell male or female or age or
No,
anything.
you could not.
Okay. I might look a little bit harder, try to figure out what it is, but I'm not gonna like waste a whole lot of time doing that.
Okay, got it. Give me 2 seconds here. All right. So as we continue forward, do you wish to? What do you wish to do again? Sorry.
I'm gonna like try to go a little bit in that direction, not like totally off the path, but just try to get a better look at where the noise is coming from, see if I can tell anything about it. But I'm not gonna try to waste a whole lot of time doing this. So it's gonna be kind of like, oh, I'm gonna walk over, kind of look, but if I don't see anything, I'm just gonna keep going, unless
All right.
I pick out something about the voice that is familiar.
All right. So as you kind of make your way over there, you hear it more clearly. It seems to be in the brush. It's kind of the long grass that you can't really see into. It seems to be female, and it seems to be almost like a crying noise.
Say, hello, is there anything I can do to help you?
You hear the noise quickly stop, and a couple sniffles, and you see a figure quickly stand up. In the moonlight, she seems to be a humanoid creature. You're not really sure what, since it's so dark out. You can only see her silhouette in the moonlight. She looks over at you and says, "Oh, I'm sorry. Was I interrupting you or something? I'm so sorry."
No, you weren't interrupting at all. I heard you perhaps crying or
Oh, no.
mourning or something.
I think that was just something else you were hearing. I was out here studying.
Of course. What were you studying?
She looks down at the ground for a couple moments and picks something up. It seems to be a flower, a pink one, that is only in bloom a certain time of the year that you know of. It seems to be summertime. She says, I was just looking at the flowers. They're so beautiful.
Indeed they are.
Anyways, why are you here?
I am merely heading home from night out.
Oh, do you live in Egg Chapel?
Why, yes, I do.
She quickly approaches you, and now that you can see her quite better, you're within 5 feet. Seems to be a human, with sort of hair to her shoulders, kind of curly, and her hair is brown. She seems to be wearing similar clothes to the one that your mother is wearing, with the kind of the white dress. She says, "Oh, I just moved in."
Wow, well, we're happy to have you, I'm sure. What is your name?
My name is Ava. What is yours?
I am Lilro. Well, you may perhaps be the new priestess trainee that my mom was referring to earlier. Is that the case?
Yes, I believe so. I was the only one who arrived today.
Well, we are very happy to have you. Would you like me to walk you the rest of the way?
Make a persuasion check.
Okay, that's a okay plus the modifier. We got a 19.
Oh, she looks over at you and wipes her face once more and says, I believe so, yes. I'm getting tired.
Of course. It's just a little further here. And
All right.
I kind of like extend my arm over to like let her like hold it if she needs to and continue forward.
She does not reach out, but she does walk with you.
Whatever. She's lame. I try to get a better view of her to like see like who or what she is. Now that we're like close together.
I mean, you pretty much see exactly what you saw before. She seems to be human. Longish brown hair. That's about it.
Okay. Cool.
All right. So eventually you get to Egg Chapel, and she says, this is my living quarters. I'll be heading home, but it was nice meeting you. Lilro, right?
Yes. It was nice meeting you as well, Ava. I hope we should see each other again.
All right. So, you go to bed. I'm going to skip through a little bit here and ask you, for the next, until I stop, what would you like to prioritize?
Prioritize as far as, like, what? Just tonight before bed, or
No, what do you want to
total?
prioritize for, like, let's just say the next month?
Okay, I definitely want to prove myself to Admon that I am a worthy successor. And then, as well as that, I would like to devote almost all the rest of my time that I'm not at the shop to studying Dwarvish and learning it as best I can.
So that will take a lot of effort. I won't let you do anything else, and it'll be kind of a harder check.
Fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
All right. So, roll performance.
Roll a performance. Okay, that's a 19 minus. No, not minus, because I have plus on charisma, so that's a 20 total.
A 20 total. In your job, you're doing exceedingly well, more than Akamon has ever expected. And
Dang right I am.
He lets you even run the shop every once in a while. And you learn that the new assistant that works for you at this point, his name is Exerek. Or Xerek.
Xerek.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Seems to be a young
How's
lad.
it pronounced? How's
Zurich.
it pronounced again?
Like Zurich, yeah. Just
Zurich?
yeah, like Zerk.
Okay, cool. Zurich.
Yeah. All right. So,
I like it.
you continue.
So he's the new dock boy.
Is there any way you'd like to treat him? Like any way you want to interact with him normally?
Kind of in the same way Admon treated me. I'm kind of just trying to gauge like his potential.
Okay.
I am gonna make sure he's working hard, but I'm not gonna like be a slave driver or anything. Like,
all right,
I'm just gonna make sure he's doing his job.
All right, make a persuasion check.
That's a 12.
At first, he wasn't doing as well as when you see Akamon teaching him what to do, but eventually he catches on and begins to trust you a little bit.
Wait.
Have... What?
Did you say Ekamon is teaching him as well?
Oh, sorry. I meant Admon.
Okay. I was like, wait, am I classmates with this kid?
No. You do not know of any other students that he's teaching, so...
Because I'm the best. Anyway, moving on.
Maybe. You guys have idle chit chat every once in a while, and he eventually asks you. He asks you what your philosophy is. He seems to be on the teetering of the edge of being religious.
Interesting. Okay. I tell him that philosophy is a funny thing. You see, you could think one thing is 110% the truth one day, and in an instant, all of that can be proven wrong. So I find it best to find your own path and use scientific means to search for truth, but I do believe that there are certain things in this world that not even science can explain.
He looks at you kind of puzzled and asks, well, if you had one wish, what would you use it on?
One wish? Well, that's a difficult question.
At this point, he's just helping you stock goods. There doesn't seem to be any customers around. He's just making adult chit-chat.
Right. Obviously, if a customer shows up, I'm gonna try to tend to them as well. But
Yeah.
for now, one wish. Wow, you are an interesting boy. If I were to have one wish, I suppose it would be that all those closest to me would have long, happy lives and fulfill all their dreams to the fullest.
All right, is that persuasion or or deception?
No, that's actual persuasion.
Okay, roll persuasion.
All right, that's a 12.
12, got it. So, he looks at you and says, "You know what I'd wish for is a way out of this place. I want to go explore. This place is kind of boring. My parents made me get a job. If I had one wish, is I'd be an adventurer."
An adventurer? What sort of adventures would you go on?
I don't know. You hear tales, people, extraordinary people. I even heard tales once from a chaplain in the Egg Chapel. He says that outside these walls, there are people who can do things, that normal people can't do.
Well, as I said before, there are certain mystical things that not even science can explain. Well, if that truly is your wish, I hope it is granted. And if there's anything I can do to help you, let me know.
He says, "Thank you," and eventually you get a customer and they start going. So I'd also like you to roll an investigation.
Ooh, that's new. We haven't done that yet. Wait, no, we did. We did do that one. All right, 16 minus 1. So 15.
15. All right. So, as we continue, you try studying the scroll as much as you can. What was your roll total again?
Roll total was 15 for the
15.
investigation.
You seem to be making quite a good progress. You're trying to cram as much as possible. I'm also going to make you make a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw?
Yes.
Ooh. Okay, 14. Not bad.
With all your work and studies, you become kind of a workaholic. You take less and less sleep, and your mother starts getting worried for you. Your boss gets on you every once in a while for being late to work, for sleeping in. Also, make a Constitution saving throw.
Hey, let's go. That's 19 minus 1, 18.
All right. Eventually, you start feeling slower than normal. Like you've contracted something. Your mom notices it very quickly and patches you up with some herbal medicine, and eventually you feel better.
Okay,
Only
I definitely want to keep an eye out and make sure if anything happens to where I start feeling that way again, I would go straight to a priestess or some sort of healer.
Yes. By the way, in normal D&D, usually chapels and monasteries have clerics. This does not. There are no clerics here. There are doctors.
Well,
So,
that's even better. So,
they use herbal medicine to heal people.
They believe in science.
Eventually, one day, you are heading back from work and going to study the scroll once more. And as you walk over, you see a crowd over where Ekamon's house is.
Is Ekamon's house where I go to school?
Yes, that's his house.
Okay. Then I'm going to approach like normal.
All right. And as you do, you see a couple of the guards that usually just kind of are around the city. There aren't very many, and they don't really wear armor. They just have weapons on them. They're making sure people stay back and form a perimeter around the house.
I choose to approach one of them and ask, excuse me, sir, what is going on?
All right, give me 2 seconds here. All right. And as you do, one of the satyrs, which is a guard, he looks down at you sort of puzzled and says, do you know the man who lives in this house?
Know him. He is my teacher. Is everything all right?
Well, I'm sorry to say, kid, the guards have taken him.
What has he done wrong?
That's for the townsfolk to learn later. We're trying to keep it under wraps for now. Everyone back. We'll inform you more about this at a later date.
I do not like this. This is not ideal. I should have asked more questions earlier. Darn it. I'm going to go to my mother.
All right. So as you do, you head back, and you hear the guards, "Stay back! Form a line!" And you head back to your mom. You head into the chapel where she usually is working, and you see her sitting down in the chair looking very sullen.
Mother, something awful has happened. The guards have taken Mr. Ekamon. I've never known him to do anything wrong or illegal. I've even asked him straight up to his face. And this just shouldn't be happening. What is going on?
She looks at you and says, "I'm sorry, my child. I don't think you'll be able to go to school anymore."
Mother, what is going on?
She looks at you and says, "We try to keep it under wraps as possible, but Ekamon is very vocal about his beliefs. I don't know how much he told you, but he's very against our religion and says that anyone who worships Lyra as a heretic." Has he told you any of this?
All he has told me is not to mention Lyra in the walls of the school, but and I mean, occasionally he would mention something in a science lesson or two about the only real truth can be derived from science, but that shouldn't be a crime.
Well, it is here, and you should learn it early. She says, this town, this city, it runs on the beliefs that it has. Without it, this would not be a paradise. And those who run it know that. They want to make sure the gods stay happy, especially Lyra, who tends to our crops and harvests, and she's the one who helps us. And that's why we worship her.
Tends to our crops? When we came here, you told me there was a famine.
She looks over at you and says, "Yes, and that's why many people were executed that day." She says that many people came into town during that era, and they were trying to teach a different belief. And eventually, the guards found out, and the president put them all to death. And after that, the crops went back to normal.
Interesting.
She says, "Please, don't cry for him. He would have wanted to die for his beliefs, even though, as crazy as they are, he wanted me to give you this." And she hands you a scroll. It's the one that you've been studying of the Dwarven language.
Let's go. Okay. I was gonna go search his house for that later.
Yeah. She says, "Do not go back to the house. The guards will have it swarmed, and by the time they leave, it will be no longer there. They will confiscate all of his items."
I understand. But there has to be something we can do.
I'm afraid not. Unless we had some sort of connection to some of the leaders here, which we don't. There's nothing to be done about it. The current president has made up his mind. I learned from Ekamon that he's been warned multiple times, but won't back down about his beliefs. He's very stubborn.
Oh yes, that was one of his traits. One time he was so stubborn I couldn't solve a simple math problem, and I was but a lad, but he stuck with it until I figured it out. He's for all the flaws stubbornness may be, it was also helpful as a teacher.
She looks at you and says, well, you know what? How about we go see the guards? I will talk to Ekamon and see him in prison. I'm sure that they will want to put him to death, but maybe we can convince them otherwise. But you were the one who's closest to him, so maybe you should be the one to talk to him. I will accompany you.
I appreciate it, Mother. If nothing else, I would just like to talk with my teacher one last time.
Yes, me too. He meant a great deal to me. I know you didn't see it most of the time, but the teachings for your schooling, they were too expensive, but he let us anyways.
He did say he was running low on funds, which was confusing to me because I did think that we paid a great deal, but perhaps he was more generous than I thought.
Yes, I believe he knew of this time coming for a while now, and so he must have spent all of his money and all of his earnings on things to teach you. He wanted you to be a successor, apparently. But you must, and she puts her arms on you and say, you must not inherit his stubbornness. We only thrive because of our god, Lyra. That's who you're named after. You cannot turn your back on her.
If everything you've told me is true, and she really does all this greatness for the city, then I see your point. But all the same, I would like to talk to him one more time.
Yes, me too. And maybe we can even save him, because we owe him quite a bit.
Indeed.
All right, so she says for you to rest for today, and we'll see you tomorrow. Do you switch to rest?
Shoot, I don't like this. Don't like this at all. But if I am going to do anything to help him, I will need my rest. So yes, I'm going to do my best to get.
Sorry, what'd you say? You cut out.
Bed. I'm going to do my best to get some rest before tomorrow, but before I do go to bed, I'm going to look over the Dwarven Scroll one more time. I probably won't be able to get a whole lot of studying done because it'll just be kind of like painful memories, but I'm going to try to do a little bit.
All right.
And then after like half an hour or an hour of it, I'm going to go to bed.
Okay. So, you study a little bit. Most of your mind is concerned with Ekamon, so you can't be completely focused. But you do go to bed at some point.
That's accurate.
And your mother wakes you up and says, it is time for us to leave. Let us approach. I talked to the guards last night, and since Ekamon has no lineage to have any final words to, they said that it would be okay if we spoke to him.
Well, I appreciate their generosity in that matter. Well, after you.
And she leads you over to what seems to be the castle, to where the parties are usually held. It seems to be a lot of people are cleaning up around there. Like, there's spilled wine on the floor, and there's glass shards here and there. The guards sort of half-heartedly stop you and say, what is your business? And your mother says, well, we're here to see Ekamon. And he says, oh yeah, I was informed about that. Follow me, both of you. And he leads you over to the castle. And over to the right side, the stairway goes down and eventually goes down to a small prison area. With one of the bars being locked and shut. The guard points over to that cell and tells you and your mother to approach it because Ekamon is there.
Well, then I approach it.
All right. So on the other side, it looks pretty dirty, pretty dingy, and you see one kind of grate looking overhead that casts a little bit of light in. It seems to be pretty dark in here, but through the light you can slightly see a figure of a man sitting down, chained to the wall, by something attached to his leg. And your mother says, "Ekamon, is that you?" And Ekamon responds, "Yes, it is me. I'm glad I get to see both one last time. I'm sorry I had to go down like this."
As am I. You knew this was coming.
He looks over at you and says, "Well, I knew something was going to happen. I thought I had a little bit more time before it would, but look where we are."
Out of character, I'm just thinking for a second.
Okay.
All right, back in character. Mr. Akamon, it is unlike you to be careless. If you knew this was coming, why wouldn't you get out when you had a chance?
He says, "Well, my beliefs are very strong, and I do not wish to hide them. And I knew wherever I went, I would have to hide my beliefs. So I might as well take a stand here, and whatever happens, happens."
Surely there are other places in the world that would let you believe what you choose to believe.
Not
Why
to,
here, of all places, would you choose to make your stand?
Not anywhere I've found. Most places enforce religion pretty heavily, and with my beliefs, well, they don't take too kindly to me.
Let me write some stuff down real quick. Um, there has to be something we can do to buy you a little more time or save you or something.
He turns towards you and starts walking from where he was, and the sunlight glimmers in his face, and it looks like a beaten man, bruised, bloodied, and his head shaven and his mustache gone. And he says, "There is no hope for those who don't believe here."
Right. Um, Even so, the most hopeless man in the world can still come across a little bit of luck. Perhaps we could get you out of this place and you could leave and start
Hush,
fresh
hush,
somewhere else.
hush, hush. And you have any crazy ideas, do not tell them to me. And she turns to your mom and says, "Make sure he doesn't do anything here. I'm doing what I knew I had to do from the day I was born." And he looks at you again very sternly and gets down a little bit and says, "Listen, do not inherit my beliefs, because they are mine. Make your own way of living, and don't back down, no matter what."
Yes, sir. And before I go, I reach into like my pouch and pull out an apple because I carry around apples all the time.
Okay.
So I grab one and I toss it to him and I say, "One last thing to remember me by."
He laughs to himself and takes a big bite out of it and says, "You know, I know I believe in science, but every once in a while I do think to myself, how do we get these crops so good?" And he looks at you again and says, "Well, goodbye, Lyro."
Farewell, Master Ekamon. And I like, my character's probably about to cry, so he like puts his head down and just like walks out.
All right, and as you do, he reaches out from his bars and pulls your mom in a little bit closer and whispers something into her ear. You're not sure what it was, but she nods at him, and a tear rolls down her face, and she hugs him through the bars, and she leaves with you. So
Yeah, I'm probably not going to talk the rest of the way home. But
Okay.
Do I need to report to work today?
You let your boss know, since your mom already said that you wouldn't be working today.
Okay, cool. And he was fine with that?
Yeah, he was fine. He understood. Eventually, when you get home, she sits you down and says, Lilro, I know we've been here for a while, and the priests have been very good to us, but tears me up. I don't think I can live here anymore. I think we should move.
Where would we move, Mother?
I've been looking for houses within the city walls. And, you have a map, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Let me pull it up.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to show the maps on screen right now for all of you wondering. She looks over at you and...
What channel did you send it in?
What channel? What do you
Yeah,
mean?
because didn't you send it a copy of the map?
I don't remember. It was... I don't think I did.
Oh, then I don't have a map.
Okay,
I mean,
just...
I have a physical map in-game, like,
Yeah.
that I made.
Can you look on
but-
Twitch?
Yeah,
Okay.
of course. All right. So anyway, that's where we might move.
She points over to Orchard, where you work, and says, around this area, I've been looking for houses. We might be able to move somewhere near there. Would you be okay with this?
Well, it is quite close to work, because that's a good thing, but then again, I've grown fond of this place. I have friends here.
She says, you'll make new friends over there, but I don't think I can stay in a place like this after what's happened.
I understand you're very torn up about this, as am I, but what would you do for work? I mean, you seem to have a good job here that pays the bills. We have more food than we ever had when we lived within the city.
Well, there's something I haven't told you. You see, you're not the only one that was taught by Ekamon. I was taught by him also. When I had free time, he would give me supplies. And she reaches under her bed to pull out a wooden box, and on the inside seems to be parchment papers full of landscape paintings. They remind you of the ones that you've studied in your books. They seem to be very abstract and very fine in their texture. And she says, I've made these throughout the years, and I've been practicing. And I think maybe if I practice a little more, I could maybe start a business selling these.
Perhaps. Would I know if art is sold in the city? And if so,
you know,
does it go for a lot?
Yeah, you know that art is a commodity not very well respected in this day and age. But within the city, since everyone is very happy with everything that's going on, they're turned to entertainment, and the arts are very much more than the outside world. So you know that in a place like this, art is sold quite often at a very high price.
Okay. Now, based on my experience as a stock boy and more recently an actual like co-merchant, would I have any would I know if her paintings were good enough to sell?
Make an insight check.
Cock. Okay. That's gonna be a 13 total.
13 total, got it. You all look at the paintings, and they remind you of the ones that you've seen in your book. Like, she's been studying them very thoroughly. They seem abstract, and some people don't really understand it. But, if you find the right seller, these are very, very, very good. Like, she's been practicing for years.
Well, Mother, I certainly hope that that plan works out. Perhaps I could even help. I mean, I'm almost a full merchant now. I could even try to help sell them.
She looks at you and says, we can maybe figure something out. It's gonna take a little bit of saving, but I'm gonna try to put down some money for a house in Oak Orchard.
Well, at least give me some more so I can say goodbye to all my friends here.
She says, yes, don't quite tell them yet about us moving because I want to keep this job, and until we're ready, please don't spread any rumors.
Of course.
All right. So, this is the end of another era, the early teenage years.
Hey.
I will ask you this. What are your stats so far?
All right, I'll go in order. So strength is an 8, dexterity is a 7, constitution's an 8, intelligence is a 9, wisdom is an 8, charisma is a 12.
All right. So, in total, I'll go one by one.
Yes, please do.
Your strength from working out in the merchants guild and moving boxes, and while you were still a stock boy, allows your strength to be increased by 1.
Alrighty.
So how many times
Cool.
have we increased it?
We've only increased strength twice.
Okay, so that'll just take 1 off of your pool.
Cool. Let me subtract that real quick.
Actually, I'm gonna just tell you this. When we finally hit, I need to check something.
Also, fair warning, after this, we might need to take a little break. My headphones just said their battery was low, but
Okay,
they
yeah,
charge really fast.
We'll take a small break. Actually, maybe we should do that right now. So we can, I can figure out some stuff about your character.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
All right. So, everyone listening, we'll be right back. Stay tuned. All right,
That is an
and we're
example of
back.
Not helpful commentary, Tyler.
Your mom's not helpful commentary. Dab.
All right. Anyways, getting back to the game. So we increase your strength by 1, correct?
Yes. Strength by 1.
Okay. So, going down the list is dexterity. You don't really get much from dexterity, just because nothing that you've done really requires it.
That makes sense. Yes.
But for constitution, on the other hand, you've been eating very well because the church provides you with good food, healthy food, and
I make sure I'm eating at least 3 apples a day.
yes.
Doctors are physically removed from the room when I enter.
And since you only got a minor sickness, that doesn't really penalize you at all. I'm gonna add 2 to your constitution.
Let's go! Constitution is the second stat to not have a negative modifier now, people.
Nice.
And that's -2 to the pool as well, right?
Yes, that's -2 to the pool.
All right, done.
All right. And next, after that, that's wisdom, right? Or is that intelligence?
Intelligence is next.
Intelligence. What is that right now? 9.
Currently a 9, yes.
Yes, increased
We
by
have
2.
added 1 to it already.
Increases by 2.
Sweet. That's the third stat to not have a negative.
All right. So next is your wisdom, correct?
Yeah, let me subtract from the pool real quick. All right, yeah, next is wisdom.
Since you're talking with people and going around the sort of oak orchard area with people, you hear stories every once in a while, and you actually gain a bit of knowledge about the world. Your wisdom increases by 1.
Go. We still have a negative modifier, but it's fine.
All right. And finally, your charisma. That's already at 12, right?
Yeah,
All right.
I want more.
Since you have been basically being a merchant this entire time, your charisma gets increased by 2.
Let's go.
What are we at right now for the increases for that?
After the 2, it's a total of 5 increases for it.
Okay. After that, if we increase charisma by any more, it's going to start costing a lot more.
That's understandable. Okay.
Yeah, so you're at 14 right now for charisma, right?
Yep.
Okay. So, how many skill proficiencies do you have?
Other than the brewery, I don't have any proficiencies.
No,
yet.
skills.
Yeah, I don't have any.
Oh, okay. Give me a second.
I'm not sure. I don't think because those are usually chosen based on your class and your background, which we're playing through my background right now. So, however you want to.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you an increase to or a proficiency in a skill.
Let's go.
So, going to give you proficiency in persuasion.
That's what I thought you would do, and I am thankful.
All right. So, with that, we're going to be skipping ahead quite a bit into your late teenage years.
Okay. First of all, money.
Okay. Wait. One second. So there are multiple things that you can prioritize in. You could spend all of your stuff into one area, or you can kind of prioritize a couple different things, or you can be a jack of all trades sort of thing. Just make sure you think about it before you give me any response.
Of course.
Okay. So this is gonna be I'm gonna just keep playing out the years until something of note happens. So like a raise, or you guys finally moving out, or meeting a new NPC, or gaining a friend. I'll pause for those types of things, but other than that, we're gonna just keep going.
Sounds good. So how old am I now?
You are 16. We're gonna be going
Okay.
through the next couple of years pretty quickly.
All right. Let me add. So from 15 to 16, most of that year was as a stock boy, right?
Most of it was, yes.
Okay, I will add stock boy money then instead of my raise money.
Uh-huh.
And that was 5 copper a week. 52 weeks in a year. Okay, so 26 silver. All right, cool.
All right. So, what would you like to prioritize in? And also tell me to what extent are you prioritizing it?
Okay, and I can just choose anything?
Yes, be more specific rather than vague, because these late years get pretty
Yeah, I get
pretty
that.
important.
So now that I have a higher paycheck, I'm getting, I think you said 5 silver a day.
Yes.
As soon as I have enough money to get a brewer's kit, I'm buying one.
Okay. Could you help me out with the math real quick? If you're getting 5 silver a day, tell me how many months it takes for you to get one.
Okay, well, I currently already have 10 gold, and 9 silver, and it
Okay.
takes 15 gold to get a brewer's kit. So, at 5 silver a day, that's 0.5 gold per day, and I need, let's see, and I need 4.1 gold. 0.5. It takes like 8 days.
8 days. Wow, that's very, very quick. So,
Technically, I wouldn't have all the money until the 9th day. It's the total answer was 8.2. So
So as you ask around where you can buy one, you realize not many people would actually have a brewer's kit. Mainly the ale all comes from like just a couple of empires that are here. And they don't seem to be selling things. They already have all their stock. But roll for a perception.
Perception. All right. Okay, that's a 12 total.
12 total.
Probably
You
not.
don't really know much of where to get a brewer's kit, but you do hear rumors of an alchemist living in town.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna go check that out.
All right.
Definitely checking that one out.
Okay. Give me a second. So, as you approach, it seems to be an alchemic workshop. It seems to be a couple people in there and one head honcho. What do you wish to do?
I'm gonna walk in, pretend like I'm supposed to be there, and walk up to the head guy and ask him about maybe obtaining a brewer's kit here.
All right. So, what you see before you is a very small man with a balding head and kind of wiry hair coming out the side. Seems to be very small. He seems to be wearing some sort of spectacles, and you see that he looks over at you with wide eyes and says, "Oh, seems like we have a visitor, everyone!" And he kind of allows 3 people working on different supplies to walk over and says, "Who might you be?"
I am Lilro. I have heard from various places in town that you are a very skilled alchemist. Am I correct?
"Oh, yes, yes, yes. I'm the best in all the land."
Well, that's great to hear. Now I know your specialties probably include brewing potions and the like. I'm more just interested in brewing ale, but would you have a brewer's kit all the same?
"Oh, yes, yes, yes. We have many brewers, kid. But tell me, why should I sell to you?"
Out of character, that's a very interesting question for an NPC to ask. Back in character. Well, you see, perhaps maybe I should start by learning a little bit more about you, and then from there I could figure out why I should be the one you should sell to.
"I see. Learn about me to learn about you. I understand."
So, first things first, what is your name?
My name is Lev, and then that's spelled L-E-V.
Cool. I see. Lev. What made you decide to become an alchemist? I am still very young and have, hopefully, quite a bit of life ahead of me, and perhaps learning why you chose to do what you do could give me some insight into how to choose how I will live my life.
He looks down for a moment and starts to studying your figure and your clothes. And he says, well, by the looks of it, I used to be a lot like you, but a lot shorter, you see. I'm a gnome, and gnomes don't get very much taller than I am. And he steps down from a stool, and he comes up to about your knees. At this point, you're getting quite tall. You're getting almost as tall as your mother. And he hops back on his stool and says, well, my father was a potioner. He made medicine. He was a doctor. And his grandfather was a doctor before him. We've perfected the art of medicine in our family.
I see. Fascinating.
Now, let's switch sides here. I'm going to make an insight on you. And he looks over at you and says, you live in the chapel, don't you?
Why, yes, I do. What clued you in on that?
Well, by the looks of it, you take very good care of yourself, or maybe your caretaker takes very good care of yourself. You seem to be quite hardy, you eat well, and, well, by the looks of it, you don't seem to wear very flashy clothes. And he looks over at your very common set of clothes that, look a little baggy here and there, but have been sewn up over the years to, not, be raggedy. And he says, that seems to be the way of the church, the middle road, as you would put it.
See, all that from one look at me. Wow. You truly are very skilled. Have you
Make
thought
a
about
persuasion
being a
check.
detective?
Make a persuasion check.
Make a what?
Persuasion.
Okay. Alright. I can do that. I'm good at persuasion now. Nat 20! Not even kidding.
Wow, okay. He looks down and looks up at your face and removes the spectacles where you can see his, tiny peering eyes, and he kind of laughs to himself. Well, thank you for that compliment. And he says, you guys should learn from him. And you look over and see two humans and a tiefling kind of just look over and kind of roll their eyes. And he looks over at you again and says, okay, second question.
Of course. What would you like to know?
No, from you to me. Remember? That's how
Oh,
we're
I
playing the
see.
game.
Ah, I see. Well, my next question. So you said you've perfected the art of making medicine in your family, correct?
Oh, yes. Many, many years ago.
I see. Well, since you are as skilled as you say, and I have no reason to doubt that you aren't, why an alchemist instead of a doctor like your father?
Well, the doctors have to get the medicine from somewhere, right?
That stands to reason. Things don't typically just appear.
Now, we don't harvest the raw materials, but we know how to form them into concoctions. And we sell them to churches and doctors, and they heal people. We're the middlemen.
I see. And I'm assuming, since you are truly the best in this land, that you would have sold to Egg Chapel once or twice?
Oh, yes. We're great business partners.
This is good to know. Well, that probably exhausts my question. I've asked technically 2 or 3 in the course of this, so we'll go to your turn now.
He looks over at you and makes kind of a looking gaze over at your form of your hair and your skin color and your horns, which seem to be growing at a massive rate. He looks over at your horns and he says, well, from the looks of it, well, obviously one of your parents was a tiefling, but my guess is the other was a satyr. Am I correct?
Question. We haven't really talked about this. Did my mother ever tell me about my father?
No,
And if
she
so,
has
what
not.
did she tell me?
She has not talked about your father at all.
Well, that's awkward. Okay. All right. Back in character. Well, you see, that's the tricky parts. I've been raised by my mother, and she does the best she can, and I really admire her for that. She's a very hard worker, and she's always done her best to provide a good life for me. She even went out of her way to pay money that she couldn't afford for me to get an education, and I admire her for that. But as far as a father, I've never had one.
He looks down and says, a young boy with no father figure? Interesting. And he looks over at you again and sort of looks down, and he says, what do you have in your pocket? And he points over to your pouch where you keep your money.
Do I also keep the apples in this pouch?
No, you do not. It's a coin
Dang
pouch.
Okay. Well, if he points, I hold it up. I say, this is my life savings to date. I have just enough to buy a brewer's kit, I would hope. But other than that, there's not really much to show.
He looks down for a moment and says, you seem to have saved quite a bit for this. You seem to know your stuff. You're very respectful. I like you. And he looks over at his men and says, go fetch him a brewer's kit. Half off. And
Half off?
And they bring over the brewer's kit. Brewer's kit's 15 gold, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it would,
7 gold, 5 silver?
yeah, it would be that. And do you wish to exchange?
Yeah.
All right. So he looks over at you and says, all right, now we're very busy, so please be off with you.
Of course. Now, for your generosity, if you should ever need anything, don't hesitate to let me know. I will do my best to help you.
Oh, yes. I mean, what do you plan on doing with the brewer's kit?
Well, as I said before, I've been studying how to make ale, and from what I've noticed, there doesn't appear to be anyone who sells ale made from apples. My hope is to get into that, but if I could learn to do other things with it, perhaps maybe you could teach me sometime.
He looks over at you and says, you seem like a gold digger. Ah, such a shame. Young men like you, with sharp minds and open eyes, always get corrupted by some sort of promise of rich and fame.
Well then, in your opinion, what should I focus on?
Study! Use your youth! You have so much time! So much more time than us! He looks over at you and says, you seem to be a sharp young lad. You should spend your gold and your time studying what you love.
Well, I was once doing that, but my teacher and mentor, he was executed.
I see.
I'm assuming he was executed, right? Like, that was a thing?
So far, nothing's happened.
Oh, okay. Then, can I not say that then?
Yeah, we can redact it.
Okay. I was once studying and learning, and it was my favorite pastime. I spent all non-working hours learning and studying new things, but my teacher, he was taken prisoner, and since then I've had no one to learn from.
He looks over at you and looks down for a moment and says, well, go find yourself a teacher. What are you waiting for?
Well, I don't really know where to find one.
Well, that's not my problem. See ya.
Well, very well. The offer still stands if you ever need any help, and I leave.
All right. And as you're leaving, he says, oh, and one more thing. What's your name of your mom again? Sorry.
I actually don't have a name for her, so it can be whatever you want.
Let's just leave it blank for now. He says your mom's name and says, please say hi to her for me.
Of course. And I leave and I go kind of to my house to tell my mom hi for this guy.
All right. So you head back to your house, and do you just tell her what went down?
More or less. Yeah. Actually, I'm just gonna be full honest. Tell her everything that just happened.
Okay. So she looks at you in surprise, and a smile comes over her face, and she says, "Oh, you met Lev. Do you remember back in the day when we used to live in the city?"
Well, it's a little foggy. I was but a very young child, but I do remember a few things.
Well, he's known you ever since you were a baby. I'm surprised he didn't say it. He must have been keeping it from you for some reason. He's a little off the beaten path when it comes to great minds, but nevertheless, he's very smart. And one day I met him, and we formed a connection. I need a job, and he was looking for people. Kind of a connection to the chapel. And I told him I would be that. He didn't trust anyone in the chapel like he trusted me. And after a few drinks and introductions, he allowed me to get a job at the chapel as sort of a mediary for his alchemic concoctions and the church's healing.
Fascinating. Well, I found him to be quite an interesting man. Before it seemed almost he rudely pushed me out, thinking I was some sort of gold digger. Certainly money is important, but it's not the only thing I hold dear to myself.
Well, that's very good, but like I said, he's a little bit of an odd one, so I wouldn't take it personally.
No, I take very few things personally. There's only a few people in my life that I respect enough to take their word to heart.
All right. So, continuing forward, you now have a brewer's kit.
Sweet. Adding that to the inventory.
All right. Also, I was going to ask Ben and Tyler, if you were in his position right now, what would you be doing? What would you be prioritizing in?
Yeah, I was actually going to ask them, now that I've done the main thing, what do you guys think I should do?
I don't know. I think what you're doing is pretty good so far.
Thanks, that was very helpful. But what
Yeah,
would
I
you do
know.
now?
Good question. Okay, Ben's mic shut off.
In the chat, tell me what you would be doing right now.
So, nothing, Tyler? Nothing comes to mind?
Nothing.
Okay. Well, I will tell you, you have many things you can be doing, and all of them are very important. So.
Yeah, I know. That's the problem, is figuring out which one is most important. Okay, as
and
far as...
please be specific when you're saying what you want to do.
Yes. Okay, Ben. So Ben's mic is off, but in the chat he said, if he were in my shoes, he'd definitely try to make money, but think more about the future. Think outside the walls.
Okay.
Is what he said. And Ellie agrees with Ben. Okay, cool. All right, so... Do I have any, have I ever made any enemies or anything?
Every once in a while you get a rude customer, but since your charisma's so high, usually you can deal with it pretty well. So, no.
Yeah, I meant, I mean, I guess a rude customer could be an enemy, but, an enemy that's, just always looming, I know I'm gonna have to deal with this guy at some point. He's just annoying or whatever.
Not really.
Okay, cool. Well, it's good to not have enemies, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. As far as what I'm going to prioritize now, obviously I want to stay consistent with my job. So not necessarily focusing on it, but like staying consistent. So I'm definitely going to keep putting forth the same amount of effort towards that as I always do.
Okay.
I definitely respect Admon as a boss, and I want him to respect me also one day as a fellow businessman.
Yeah, so you're just putting in the normal amount, like enough to get by.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not bare minimum, but enough to like try to gain his respect, basically.
Okay.
Not as far as other than that, I'm definitely in my own time going to be studying Dwarvish some more with that scroll. It's basically my most prized possession at this point.
Okay.
If I ever can, I'd like to go visit Ekamon in prison and just kind of talk to him.
Okay.
But if that's not allowed, I understand.
It is not allowed. You were allowed to.
Figured.
That was basically his last words for the general public.
Dang. Wow, that's harsh. But okay.
Well, I mean, they just want to make sure that he's not spreading his heresy. Because then they would have to kill more people.
They don't have to kill him anyway. They could find a different way. So I can't talk to him, so I'll probably definitely start working on a recipe for apple ale.
Okay.
With a brewer's kit, I should have all the ingredients necessary as long as I have the apples.
Okay. Yeah. And you will always have a supply of apples.
Yes,
as long as you're here.
I make sure I always have a supply.
Okay.
I am the Johnny Appleseed of this world.
I really hope so.
So I'm gonna start working on making a recipe for that, studying all I can about recipes for ale and what makes it taste the best and like how to tweak it, and I basically just try to find a recipe that is perfect.
Okay.
So I do that when I can. Other priorities, I'm probably at this point I've realized I'm not very good at hand-eye coordination. I'm not gonna focus on it. I'm like, it's a weakness I have. It's probably not just gonna get better, but I also have other things that I prioritize, so I'm not really too worried about it.
Okay.
Trying to make friends and connections in Oak Orchards as much as possible, since I think there's a potential of me moving there.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely trying to make friends and connections there, both to business people and just casual citizens. And then while I still live in Egg Chapel, I want to get to know Ava a little more.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. So as you continue forward, tell me your first priority again.
Wow, we just listed a lot of things.
It was being with the merchant, being okay at your job, right? Just like regular.
I'm not gonna say that's my first priority because I'm literally
I know.
just.
Well, I'm not saying that's your first priority. I'm just saying we got to get these down the list.
The first one that I said. Yes, yeah. That is it.
Okay, so roll a performance.
Alrighty, performance. Ooh, that's a good one. Okay, that's a 16 total.
All right. Even though that you don't like solely focus on it, you do realize that you're getting a knack for this whole merchant thing, and you eventually get better at selling things, and the assistant starts to respect you even more. You just earn your regular salary.
Sounds good. Do I need to do any math for my salary?
Let's just keep going down the list before we do anything.
Okay, cool. If I run into a situation where I'll want to buy something, then we can do the math then.
Okay.
But I don't know if that's gonna happen unless I need to buy more ingredients for ale recipes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the second thing I said was the Dwarvish scroll. I'm definitely studying that very hard.
Okay.
Trying to keep my promise to Ekamon when I said I would learn to master it eventually.
Mm-hmm. Make an investigation.
Sweet. Crap. Well, not crap. It's a 19, but I wanted a 20.
Wow. I mean, that's pretty good.
with the modifier, it stays 19 because I have an 11 in intelligence now.
Okay. All right. So continuing forward, you are studying this scroll and trying to use the common language to decipher it. And the more and more you do, you realize like this is like an actual dwarvish scroll that you think a dwarf wrote. So it seems to be very old. You thought it might have been a copy, but the more you read it, the more you realize that you think this is an actual like original one. And it tells of a political thing that was happening, and it was like basically like the dialogue that was happening during the scene in the courtroom that they were having. It seems like someone was on trial for stealing, and they were like deciding their punishment. You haven't gotten to the end yet, but you're still translating it at a very incredible speed.
It's just straight up the book Crime and Punishment, but in Dwarvish.
Yes.
Okay. Next, since I can't visit Ekamon next, I believe I was trying to work on perfecting a recipe for apple ale.
All right, and you're spending a lot of time on this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so roll for. Actually, I want to make sure I'm doing the right one for this. What are your intelligence ones?
Arcana, History, Investigation, Nature, and Religion.
It would definitely have to be investigation. So roll that.
Gotcha. Okay. Not terrible, not great either. It's a 15.
15. Oh, you're actually learning how to brew all on your own. Even though you know how to use the tools, you're experimenting on different ones, different designs. So yeah, eventually, as you're doing all this, you hear news from one of the satyrs that comes by and tells you and your mother that Ekamon has officially been executed, and his body will be buried out in the graveyard.
Well, we're definitely going to go visit that when it happens. I ask, is there to be a funeral for him?
The government does not arrange funerals, but if you wish to have one, then there's no one stopping you.
Very well. Mother, I would like to arrange a funeral for Ekamon.
She says, well, that is only fair. She asks how big you want to go for this funeral.
Unfortunately, most of this city probably either does not know or respect him enough to show. But those who you probably know, any who were close to him, if you could work on inviting those people,
Yes,
I would be
probably his students.
Yes. As I do not know any other fellow students, I would either need you to tell me where to find them, or if you could find them and invite them yourself, that would be much appreciated.
Yes, I can gather them. You make the arrangements for everything that's going to happen during this event. Make sure our area is clean. We'll go down to the gravesite and watch the burial. But then afterwards, I want to invite everyone over to the monastery.
Very well. I would be happy to join that.
All right. So, how much money are you spending on like decorations and like you're pretty much in charge of the casket?
Sweet. Okay. So, as far as different tiers of funeral, if we had like 5 different tiers, 5 being like the best of the best, like royalty funeral, 1 being like you were buried.
Yeah. Basically the best of the best of the best is like 5 platinum points.
I don't think I have that yet.
The worst is a government funeral where you don't have to pay for it. He's just in a box.
Gotcha.
And buried. Kind of the middle of the road is gonna be like 5 gold, and that'll be like a pretty nice funeral with flowers and a good casket and all that. And then tiers up and down are kind of in between.
Seems to be about right. Well, since I can't afford top of the line, Also, that would probably draw too much attention, and they'd wonder why I respect a guy who is a heretic. I'll go middle of the road. 5 gold. I'll subtract that from the inventory.
All right. So, you guys have the funeral, and you meet all of the students, which you've only seen a couple in passing when you're like going in and out of his house. But you do recognize one of them. He seems to be a young man, tiefling, that actually looks about your age. He looks pretty stern, and he's wearing like finer clothes. You recognize him from being working at the alchemist shop.
Interesting. Okay. So I guess I'm gonna get up and say the spiel like Ekamon was a good man. Everyone who knew him or followed him knew that he definitely harbored a deep and intense passion for what he did, molding the minds of children to better themselves through learning. If anyone has any stories or experiences with Ekamon they'd like to share, now would be an appropriate time. And I kind of just look across to see if anybody wants to talk.
It seems like everyone's pretty shy. They don't really want to talk until the tiefling steps up and says, "We all knew why he died. We all need to understand that this place isn't for everyone. And definitely not for some of us who believe in his ways." And he looks over to you and says, "I respect you for putting all this together, and I thank you." And eventually, he takes a flask out of his backpack and unscrews it and pours it on the ground over his grave and says, "Even though Ekamon did not respect the gods, I do ask Lilro, for his passage into the afterlife." And he pours out some sort of ale and says, "Please, Lyra, for all that it's worth, from just one humble man to a god, please, let his soul rest." And he pours out the rest of it. And he goes back over and stands with the rest of the people.
Very well spoken, sir. As you said, this place isn't for everybody, and especially those who would believe like Ekamon. However, in his final words to me, Ekamon did say that we should work to form our own opinions on how this crazy world works, and not just subject to his beliefs. He was very passionate about saying his beliefs were his alone, and we should work to form our own. Whoa, that rhymed. Can I be a bard?
Whoa, okay, yeah, you unlock the bard class.
Let's go.
Give me a second.
Bard is a great option.
Honestly, I'm hoping for at least a couple levels in bard.
Really?
I feel like as a merchant, I could do it.
Yeah, your charisma is really good.
My charisma is
just
my
talking
best
to people.
stat. I mean, I'm hoping I get a class that relies on that.
By the way, Ben got off.
Oh, Ben got off.
Oh,
Yeah, he
okay,
got off.
cool. I thought that was Ellie. I wasn't reading the username. Yeah,
Okay.
that is Ben. Sweet.
All right.
Yeah, Ben got off.
How long has this been going on for? Like,
Including the break, an hour and 56 minutes.
okay. Yeah, we can keep going if you guys want.
Sweet. I definitely do want.
Okay. Sounds good. So as you guys head back to your house, to have some sort of a semi-formal party.
Wait, I thought we were going to the chapel after the funeral was over.
The chapel is your house.
Oh, you're right. I forgot. Minor details.
Yeah. So eventually, you talk to some of the people, and they explain how they all learned from him of different things. And eventually, the tiefling approaches you and says, "You know, Ekamon did talk about you quite a bit."
Really? That's interesting. What What did he say? I hold his opinion in the highest respect.
He said that you had, well, a lot of potential, but he was worried that you would get too ingrained into the carnal things, that you wouldn't apply yourself at an early age, if you want me to be honest.
Well, of course, I would hope to be honest, especially now that since his passing, telling the truth about what we know of him is all we have to go on. Preserve his legacy.
Make a persuasion check.
Hey, I'm good at those! A nat 20, I'm not even kidding.
Oh my gosh. I am so happy. I'm so happy for this roll. I was really hoping for you to get a high roll. He turns towards you with some sort of a smirk on his face and says, "Let's talk after." And do you say anything in response?
Of course, I would be happy to.
All right. So, he eventually leaves with everyone else, and eventually gets a little later, and your mother says goodnight. And eventually, after you are about to go to bed, you hear a knock on the door.
I answer the door, expecting it to be that tiefling.
Okay,
that
it
I
is
met
him.
in the shop. All right, sweet. So, I say, hello, would you like to come in, or should we take this conversation outside?
Oh, whatever works best for you. This is more of a formal meeting. I come to you because I know that you meant a lot to Ekimon, and Ekimon meant a lot to me. Ever since I was an infant, he was my sort of caretaker for a while. He always let me study whatever I wanted, and would buy me the finest things as long as my parents paid him. You see, my parents are quite wealthy, and I was brought up quite well.
Yes, judging by your clothes, that all seems to check out. Now, as you know, Ekimon was my mentor, and he did mean a lot to me as well. So out of respect for him and his legacy, again, I would just like to emphasize, let's be as honest as we can with each other.
All right. And by the way, I might as well describe this to you. This seems to be a tiefling with red eyes. Seems to be male about your age, and very large horns kind of curling around the side. And his skin is purple, and his hair is white. His sides of his head were shaved, and the very top of his head is slicked back.
Nice. All right. Now, shall we begin?
Yes, and he asks, "May I have a seat?"
Of course. And I pull out a chair for him to sit in.
All right. He
and I
sits.
sit in a chair nearby.
Okay. He sits down, and he looks puzzled for a moment and says, "You know, my boss. You met him, the gnome. Do you remember?"
Yes, I do. He was a very interesting man.
Yes, he is. He's a very hard worker, and we're his assistants. Me and two others, that is. He picked the best in the city that he could find, and trained us to be his successors. You see, he does not have a wife, and he does not have any kids of his own. So he wants to continue his lineage through us by teaching us his alchemic ways.
I see. I'm assuming you're all very promising students. You trained under my teacher, Ekimon. I'm sure you are probably the best and brightest in the class.
Now, that's very interesting you say that, because that's why I'm here. The other two students, they did not train under Ekimon, and I was the only one who did. I applied myself, so I'm very proud to say that I am one of the top students for this alchemic teacher. He promised us one thing, and one thing only. We would only have jobs as long as we applied ourselves to our work. And let's just say I'm the top of the class, and there's someone very near to me that is the next one. But there's one that has been slacking recently. He seems to be new, and seems to be kind of lazy when it comes to his work. You know, he does know quite a bit about alchemy, and he's studied with him for a little bit. So it's no pushover. He's no pushover. But if you wanted, I might be able to hook you up. If you wanted to study with us, study under this alchemist, that is, and learn his ways, then I might be able to help you out. You see, you stand no chance to take him over because, well, you don't know the first thing about alchemy. Because Alchemon didn't know the first thing about alchemy. But since I've been taught under this alchemist for quite some time, I might be able to teach you what I know. And you can show your skills to the alchemist, and he might be impressed. Maybe enough to kick the other student out and hire you. Are you interested?
Well, of course. I fear your boss didn't seem to like me too much. He thought I was only in things for the money. I assure you, as this is not the truth, I've always respected money and valued it because being brought up in a very poor household, it was a very scarce resource in those days. So I do respect my money, but it is not the closest thing to my heart. No, indeed, the closest thing to my heart was actually given to me by Ekimon, something to learn with. But yes, I'm very interested in your offer. Anything I can do to increase my chances of studying further under a master, I would do happily.
All right. Make a persuasion or deception check.
That's definitely persuasion. All of that was 100% true.
Okay.
Okay, 18, 22 total.
22 total.
The
He looks
first
at...
total that's been higher than a 20. Other than nat 20s, obviously.
Nice. He looks at you and kind of smiles for a moment and says, "You know, I think we have a lot in common. Here, I don't think I've properly introduced myself. My name's Zeth. Z-E-T-H.
Z-E-T-H. Zeth Hargis? Just kidding. That's a guy I went to school with, for those of you who don't know.
Yeah, quite an interesting person.
He was.
Although not an alchemist.
Does not seem to fit the description of this character at all. So I say, very nice to meet you, Zeth. I believe we've met, but if you didn't know, my name is Lilro.
Yes, like I said, I think there's more in common than you think. My father, he recently passed away, but I do not mourn for him. He was a greedy man and never had time for me or my mother. And by the end of his life, the only thing he could really account for was his riches. So I hold the same sentiment to you, although I don't have any past where I grew up poor, so maybe I have more to learn from you than you to me. And he looks over at you and says, he's left our riches to me and my mother. As you see, I'm his only son. And he says, if you apply yourself to your work under me, then I won't charge you. Not a dime. The study of alchemy is very prized because many people are out after its healing medicine. But not many people know it can be used for evil as well. But the study of alchemy is neither right nor wrong. So we decide to go with it however we like. That's something that... could you give me the name of the alchemist once more?
Yes, his name was Lev.
Yes, Lev, he doesn't care what we do with our alchemy as long as we learn its properties, just like his grandfather before him has learned. He says, whenever you're in the lab studying, or with me, just know that there's no one way to right or wrong. You can do it with it as you wish, as long as you keep the information.
All right. Can I try to insight check to see if he implied or like maybe said something a little weird, so like I would know whether he's using his alchemy for good or evil?
Okay. Yeah, you can.
Cool. Okay. It's an insight check, correct?
Yes, it is.
14.
You can see he's very conflicted. That's all I'll say.
All right, that's fine. I don't really care. I mean, I care like internally, but I'm still gonna accept his teachings either way.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of just say, I would be honored to learn, especially from someone who is viewed in such high respect in the class as yourself.
He says, well, thank you. But don't think of me as your teacher. Think of me as your competitor. Your goal is always to get better than me. You understand?
My goal in everything I do is to be the best, so that stands to reason.
Well, that's good, because that's the only way you'll be able to get to the level where you'll be able to take over. Understood?
I understand.
If
and
you
look
hold
forward
back
to the
any at
opportunity.
all, you won't be hired on.
Like I said, my goal is to be the best. To hold back would be a mistake.
All right. Make a persuasion or deception check.
That's persuasion.
All right.
I mean, not a great roll, but the modifier helps make it to a 13.
13. Got it. So as you continue, he looks over at you and says, well, when are you ready to start?
Well, if it weren't so late, and I'm sure you have to be getting home, I'd say we could start right now.
Well, I like your drive. He looks over at you and says, I know you probably have a job, and I understand. So we will be only studying half of the week.
Understood. I work typically, and based on my current working hours, I kind of just explain to him my schedule, and I ask, would that fit with what you had in mind?
He says that is completely fine. Just make sure you apply yourself. Don't overwork yourself also, because that can cause problems.
Oh yes, to overwork can cause both physical and mental stress on the body, and those are things I cannot afford to deal with right now.
He says, I understand. Well, I'm gonna give you a good night. But I'll see you in the morning.
Very well. I shall see you tomorrow and look forward to doing so.
All right.
And I kind of see him out the door, and then I go to bed.
Okay, cool. So, question for you and Tyler. Was that what you think was going to go down?
Not really at all. I thought my chances with the alchemist were destroyed when I walked out of there, and he was like, "You're just a gold digger."
Yeah, he turned that around pretty good.
Yeah, actually, to be honest, it's really only because you had a funeral.
I
Dang.
mean, I respected the man.
Yeah. I mean, there are actions to your there are consequences to your actions. So,
And
Imagine
each
someone
and each
dying
consequence
like
produces
restoring
an
a
action.
relationship.
So your first statement was right too.
yeah. All right. Well, we're going to skip ahead a little bit more. And
Alrighty,
this is actually going to be your first day with Zeth. And
let's go.
he tells you where to meet him. He seems to live... I'm going to pull up the maps again on Twitch.
This is exclusive Twitch content. You all should be proud.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So, do you guys see it?
Not yet. But my Twitch is a little bit behind, so
Okay.
like it's weird
Yeah.
to like I'll like
Oh,
mess
there
with
we
my
go.
hair and it won't show up in the camera on Twitch for like a few seconds, and it's like,
Yeah, there's a little bit of a delay.
all right.
Yeah, I see the map.
There we go. We've got the map now.
All right. So he says his house is on the side of the river next to Share Ferry.
Sheriffery. That's how that's pronounced. Interesting. Which side of the river did he say it was on?
It's on the right side.
So the east. Gotcha. I mean, sounds good. I'll meet him there.
All right. So eventually you go there and you realize this area is more well kept, bigger houses and all that. And you eventually come to a huge house. It's borderline on mansion. And as you knock on the huge doors, a butler comes out and meets you and says, "Are you Sir Lilro?"
Yes, I am Lilro. I have an appointment with Zeth.
Yes, young Master Zeth has been waiting for you. And He leads you over to within the walls of the mansion. The main area is like a huge area with an upstairs, downstairs, pillars, and a giant fireplace in the middle with the table set out for dining. Even though there's no food out right now, and he leads you over to the right, and he says, "This is our study. If you wish to come here at any point, make sure Master Zeth approves of it."
I understand.
All right. And as you walk through, you see that this area is completely different than all of the others. Books are everywhere. There is liquid all over the floor, and you see Zeth in the middle of the table working on some sort of fluid. That seems to be steaming.
I choose to approach. I'm not going to say anything in case he's like really concentrating on this thing, but if he notices me, then I'll say something.
All right. So, he looks over at you and says, "Oh, quickly, come here, come here."
I quickly come there.
You see a red liquid sort of bubbling and like coming out with smoke. He's like, "Okay, this is your first lesson. Please pay attention and listen carefully. You need to work with what you have and always think on your feet, because with alchemy, things can go a little wonky as long as you don't pay attention to the exact components like I've done here." He says, "Go over there. Go get me some salt."
All right, I go over and I get salt if I recognize which one's salt. Or
Yes, you know what salt is, so.
yeah, I didn't know if maybe there were different like alchemic symbols for it that I wouldn't know, or if it was pretty clearly labeled.
The rest are liquids. This is the only like powder-like substance, so.
Okay, I gotcha. So yeah, I rush it over. I say, I believe this is salt.
All right. He says, "Get me 1 tablespoon and slowly pour it in."
Of course. Where are the measuring spoons?
So he points over and you see some next to you.
All right, I grab them. I get the tablespoon and I get it.
All right. Since you have been studied in just general studies, you would know what it is. So
Science was one of my best subjects.
yes, that is true. Although math is not. So please roll an investigation to see if you get enough, or too little, or too much.
All right. That's not bad. That's a 14.
14. You seem to get enough, and he says, "Okay, slowly pour it in. Make a sleight of hand."
Oh gosh, no, not my dexterity. Nat 20.
Oh
Nat
my
20!
gosh.
Nat
Dude,
20.
you need to chill with those nat 20s, bro.
Bro.
I think I've gotten 3 per session so far, and only 1 nat 1.
Dang. That's pretty good. When I
Okay.
play, I'm gonna roll all nat 1s.
Well, I mean, that's the law of averages, right?
Yeah.
The law of equivalent
Totally.
exchange.
Alchemy 1.
All right, we've been derailed. Anyway,
I'm looking at something real quick. Sorry.
Okay, cool. So yeah, nat 20 on the sleight of hand check.
Nice, dude.
This dude's the real deal.
All right. Sorry.
I'm still gonna die of dysentery. So-
Yeah, you are, of birth complications.
No, we are past that stage.
All right. So, he slowly takes his tweezers out, and as you poured it in, the liquid stops bubbling and sort of settles and stops steaming, and he slowly puts the cap back on, and he picks it up and says, "Do you know what this is?"
I wouldn't recognize it, would I?
No, you do not.
Yeah, okay. I say, no, but I would like to know.
He says, "Well, this is what I call fun in a bottle, but others might call it a small explosive." And he starts shaking it in his hands, and it starts glowing bright red. And he says, "All right, stand back."
I take a step back.
and he chucks the bottle across the room and onto a wall, where a small explosion happens of acid and different liquids, and it slowly burns away at the paint eating at the walls. And he says, "See, alchemy."
My eyes kind of get wide. I say, "Well, that was quite the show. Um, I am ready to get started whenever you are. I hope I didn't keep you waiting too long."
Oh no, you're quite fine. And also make sure that if you ever want to use this room for alchemy, or even if you want to study up on the books that we have around here, I know it's not organized, but if you do want to find something in here, we have many books. I haven't really checked up on them in a while, so it might be good for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I believe the butler said that I would need to make an appointment with you to use the study. Is that correct?
Oh, don't worry about him. You can come in whenever you want. I'll just let him know.
Very well. I appreciate it.
All right.
Shall we get started?
Yes, we shall. And with that, we are going to skip ahead in time just a little bit longer. So I just want to make sure we did all the priorities that you were thinking
there was
about.
one more. I was going to try to spend some time making a lot of connections in Oak Orchard, because that's where I might be moving. But also on the other side, where I'm living in Egg Chapel currently, I'm going to be trying to connect and learn more about Ava.
All right. Make a persuasion check.
All right. I'm good at those, people. I'm good at those. Okay, that's not terrible. That's 13.
13. As you talk to different people while you're selling goods and kind of just on your break, just talking around, you realize that most of the people who live in Oak Orchard actually like do their jobs there. They all seem to be like slightly merchants or even brewers.
Yeah, definitely wanting to make connections with those people, because those are going to be the people that I work with and do business with.
Yes. So you meet multiple people. Make another persuasion check.
All right. I'm good at these. Well, not much better, but a 15.
15, got it. As you're talking to Ava, just in passing, you realize that she's become more used to her surroundings, gotten more like in the zone with everything around her. She seems to be devoting herself to her studies like 100%, but also has some time for friends. So she seems to be having a pretty even lifestyle. And eventually, as you grow closer to her, she asks you if you have any interest in becoming a priest yourself.
I say, perhaps. The thought has crossed my mind, being as my mother is a priestess. Currently, between work and more studies, I'm not sure I'd have the time, but if I could find a way to work in some sort of meeting with you or someone about it, I'd be open to the conversation.
She kind of nods and says, "Well, do what you wish." On me, on the other hand, I want to be the high priestess here. That's my number one goal, is to get a very good connection with Lyra, because my uncle, have I talked to you about him? Or sorry, my father.
Has she?
No, not really.
I say, no, I don't believe we've ever mentioned anything about your father. But I have time if you have a story.
She looks at you and says, "Well, in my opinion, he's the best farmer that sorry, blanking on the Nabia?
Yes, Nabia.
That Nabia ever has. He grows the finest crops. I want the best for him, and I think the way for me to do it from here is making sure I pray to Lyra about it. I have heard that the better connection you have with Lyra, the better crops will grow. So I'm going to try to do that as best as I can."
Interesting. What is your father's name?
She says, he doesn't like people using his first name, so he just calls himself Uncle Grim.
Uncle Grim, you say? How is that spelled?
Uncle and then Grimm. And as she says this, you actually recognize the name. It seems to be a farmer that sells to you and your boss every once in a while when harvest comes around.
I say, actually, I am familiar with your father. You see, in my business in the markets, he often sells his crops to our shop.
Oh, I see. I didn't even know you were a merchant.
Yes, actually, I started out as a stock boy, but over time, my boss realized my potential and he promoted me. I'm co-workers with my first boss. It's a very nice job, honestly.
Well,
I
I'm glad
enjoy
for you. But if you really want to know the hookups, my father,
it.
he's the best there is. You want to buy from him.
We always do, but I will make sure we continue. Hopefully, I'll be able to get to know him better. If he truly is as wonderful as you say.
Yes, he is. I mean, he is strict some of the time, but only Lyra knows that he is a good man. And she also says that she has like a cousin that lives with him, and you know this to be you've met him once before, and he tried to sell you guys crops before. You guys didn't take it that year though.
Nice. Just because I know, but I'm asking, is this Ben's character?
Yes, this is Ben's character. I
No
wish he was
way.
here to react to this, but
Dang.
Ben literally went to bed. Gosh darn.
Bruh. He
Yeah.
could have
His mic
played
wasn't
his
working
character
anyway,
out.
though, so it was probably the reaction wouldn't have been as cool.
yeah, it would have been. Oh, that so.
He has to like type out everything he wants to say in the Twitch chat.
Nice.
Honestly, at that point, I would go to bed too.
Yeah.
Especially in this position, having to role play. No.
Yeah.
Like, bro.
So eventually more time passes, and with that about a year passes until now.
I'm now 17.
You are now 17. That is correct.
Can I add my money?
You can add your money.
Are there 365 days in a year?
There are.
Was it a leap year? Riley? Hello?
Nah.
Nah, it wasn't.
Nah.
Darn. That's unfortunate. Okay, well, we have gold now.
Good.
Actually, I have enough for platinum.
Really nice.
Well, what's the conversion from gold to platinum? Is it still
10.
10?
Yeah.
Yeah,
10 gold.
I have enough.
Cool. All right.
I'm actually going to convert it to platinum.
Good. Cool. So, as you're working with Zeth every other day, one day your mother actually wakes you up, seemingly in the middle of the night. She says, Lyra, Lilro, wake up! Something amazing has happened.
Well, I guess I'm gonna wake up then.
All right. She leads you over to her room, and she shows you a sack on the ground with a note on it.
I choose to look at the note.
You open it up, and in common it says, to help you with that house that you want to buy. And she opens up the sack, and on the inside seems to be many gold coins.
Mother, this is wonderful.
Yes, we'll finally be able to buy that house that we've been wanting to get.
Yes, I know living here since Ekamon's passing has been difficult on you. I just hope that we're being smart with all these decisions, making so hurriedly.
Well, it has been a year.
You're right. And you're still wanting to go into the art business, right?
Yes, I've been practicing.
Very good. Well, I see no reason, so long as you think it would make you happy, to deprive you of such an opportunity. So, let us be off.
So the next couple days, you guys pack up and you say bye to Ava, and she makes sure that she knows where you live so she can visit every once in a while.
Hey.
Even though she mostly doesn't have the time for it. You guys head over and you eventually get to your new house. With all the gold that was in the sack from this mysterious donor, you get into a pretty nice house. The rent per week for everyone, like for your mother to pay off, is since you guys put a lot of down payment on it already, it's not very much, but it goes to for about 14 gold a week. So yeah.
Wow.
She looks over at you and says, now, I know it's been rough for you these couple years, especially with your teachers passing, but I hope this can be a new start for us.
Yes, I think it will be. I am excited to see what life has in store for us here.
All right. And with that, we're going to keep going.
Canonically, now that I live in the Oak Orchard district,
yes.
I would live a lot closer to work, right?
Yes, you live a lot closer to work.
I'm choosing to keep my internal alarm the same, so that I'm able to go in early.
Wow. Okay.
Every day.
Okay. Yeah. I'd like you to roll a performance, actually.
All right. Ooh, 19 plus 2. That's a 21.
With you showing up early to work and being really great at your job, your pay goes up once more. Doubled, in fact, to 1 gold a day.
Gold a day? Are you for real? Wow. Okay. I can actually try to help my mom with rent now.
Dang, be a good son.
As I've said, there are only a few people in the world that opinions matter to my character. My mother is definitely one of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you choosing to help out with rent?
I'm gonna have that conversation with her. Yeah.
Okay. So
I'm gonna say, Mother, I know we obtained that gift some time ago to help pay with rent, but eventually that money is going to run out. How have you been doing with your paintings?
she turns towards you and says, well, my paintings actually have been doing very well. It's enough to get by and a little bit more. I know that you're getting older, so I know there's going to be more responsibilities on you, but you're only 17, and I think you should have at least 1 more year of saving up before you have to worry about rent or anything like that.
Well, if you are making enough, and that is the truth, and I've never known you to tell a lie, then I'm happy. If it would help, I could give a little bit of my income to rent. I mean, I did get a raise recently.
She says, don't worry about that. Actually, you know what? Since we're doing so well, why don't we go out and buy some things? And she takes you over to the tailor. You have very commoner clothes. It's been stitched shut multiple times by your mother. And she says to the tailor, allow him to special order anything he wants.
Sweet.
So you get
do they have any...
What?
What? Do they have anything like jackets?
Jackets will cost extra. What your mother was meaning is, okay, so there's fair clothes, there's commoner clothes.
I see what you're saying.
She means like you can get commoner clothes like tailor made to like fit you, and also like you get to choose what it's made out of and stuff. Jackets and more like stuff like that is extra accessories.
Gotcha. Okay. So I'll go with the common clothes that are tailor made.
Okay, so what do you want it to look like?
Okay.
Make sure you write this down so you know your appearance.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think of now. Okay. Should have thought about this sooner. Darn it. All right. I'm gonna go with kind of darker brown pants, um, some leather boots, like work boots, but they're not like just work boots. Like you could wear them out in public and people wouldn't think you're like out there to work.
Mm-hmm.
And then definitely the shirt's gonna be like green, and it's gonna be long sleeved. It's like a darker green, and I'm gonna have like a Robin Hood hat.
Oh, nice. Kind of like a Fletcher hat.
Yeah, like with a. I'm gonna stick a feather in it.
Nice. Okay. So they custom make that for you, and your mother pays for it. And she herself gets herself like a work clothes with like pants and a shirt, so she can paint without worrying about getting her dress soiled. So
I appreciate this gift, Mother. More than you know. I appreciate it.
of course, you have been so good to me, even though you have grown up without a father. I know it's how hard that can be, but I'm so thankful for you. And she gives you a hug.
I hug her back. I say, honestly, in the earlier years, it was kind of hard living without a father, but over the years, I obtained several people I would consider to be like a father to me. I mean, there was Ekamon with school and Admon with work. So I always did have people I would consider to be like a father to me. So that's been helpful.
All right. And with that, what do you choose? Well, actually, let me. It's been a while since we've upgraded. How much is in your pool?
We go back to the pool. We have 33 left.
33 left. Okay. So we're going to do some more upgrades here.
Sounds good.
All right. So, still working at the merchant's place. Since you don't have to move boxes as much as you did before, but you still have to do some work here and there. Your strength increases by 1.
All right. Now strength doesn't have a negative modifier.
All right. So, next is your dexterity, correct?
Yep.
All right. Working with Zeth, your hand-eye coordination had to be a little bit better than before, but like you said, you don't really prioritize it, so it only increases by 1.
Sounds good to me. We just went to a -1 modifier instead of -2.
All right. So, with your Constitution modifier or your Constitution, since you've been eating very well and you're able to like live a very healthy lifestyle and you haven't gotten sick and your mental health has been very good, I'm going to increase your Constitution by 3.
3?
Yes. What are we up to now?
That totals it to 6 upgrade
6.
points.
Okay. Wait. For your 5.
Wait, not 6. Sorry. I mean, it is still 6. I was just marking on the wrong thing.
Okay. Can you give me a second? I need to check something. Okay. So for upgrading it to 4, that's just -1 off your pool. Upgrading it to 5, that's -1 to your pool. But upgrading it to you're upgrading it to 6, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's gonna be -2 instead.
Okay.
So how much left is in your pool?
28.
28. All right. So what's your wisdom already?
Wisdom is currently 9, but we skipped over intelligence.
Oh yes, intelligence. What is your intelligence?
11.
11. Since you are working very hard in your studies with the alchemist, your intelligence increases by 3.
All right, that totals it to 5.
Okay.
So let me subtract the points for all that real quick.
Uh-huh.
I'm liking these stats. All right.
Yeah.
So first, it goes up to, so that's -2, 6. Then it goes up to 5. Wait, 5 is also -1, right?
Yeah, 5 is also -1.
And if it went up by 3, it had 2, so it's only a total of 5. Okay, cool.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So,
A lot of opportunities here.
yes, there is. Your wisdom next, right?
Yes.
So, since you are applying yourself to like meet other people and explore around in your new area, what is your wisdom again?
9.
9. I'm going to increase it by 2.
Sweet. Now it's 11. 9/11.
Okay.
That was a national tragedy.
Yeah, it was. So your charisma's next, right?
Yep.
What is it already?
14.
All right. So since you're not, since you have other priorities other than just being a merchant, I'm only gonna increase that by 1.
Okay, let me subtract the thing for that. It's going to be -2 because that put it at 6 total upgrades. So, all right.
All right. So, with that, I'm going to skip ahead a couple years, till we get to 19.
Permission to calculate the paycheck?
Not yet. Not yet.
I want this check.
Not yet. Okay, for this next year, you eventually get to the point where you start paying rent, and you get another bonus to your check. It's 2 gold
Another bone?
per day.
How? 2 gold?
2 gold per day, yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I have 1 year of 1 gold a day and then another year of 2 gold a day?
Yes. But your mother says it's about time to pay rent, so
That's fine. I've been willing.
she just tells you that 7 gold a week is fine.
All right, that's less than half. I'm satisfied with that.
All right, so as
So
you can,
that's half of my income the second year.
So as we continue, what do you prioritize?
Buddy. All right. I'm definitely trying to stay good at my job. I'm still going in early every day, like I have been.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna overwork because I want to save a lot of my energy for alchemy training because I know it's gonna take a lot. But I'm not gonna like slack off either. I'm gonna make sure my job is done and done well. I'm just not gonna like overwork myself. Like I'm not gonna stay 3 hours late every day or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
So conserve my energy to use in the alchemy training, which I'm gonna devote all my free time to that and being in the study, reading as much as I can.
Okay, so you do alchemy first, then studying second on other stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Which some of those studies could be like related to the alchemy, and some of them could just be like, oh, I picked a book off the shelf and learned stuff.
Cool.
All
right.
So that also, if I do have like extra free time, maybe trying to like work a little more on the apple ale recipe, but that's gonna be like on the back burner for right now.
Got it. Okay, so give me your number 1 priority that you're doing most.
Number 1 priority I'm doing most is the alchemy training.
All right. So, with that, roll an investigation.
9 total.
9 total. Roll another investigation.
Cock dice. Okay, that's good. That's a what's the +2? So 21 total.
Okay, and roll one final investigation.
Nat 20.
Oh wow! Okay,
Oh,
so these are going to be
Chill.
divided into 3 categories when it comes to studying alchemy.
It's always Tyler. It's always when I'm making like a set of 3 rolls to determine how well I do.
So, here is how you do. Your first roll is going to determine how well you are when he's teaching you. You seem to be like a pretty slow learner, and he's like kind of a little disappointed. But you spend a lot of your free time studying like outside that and just coming in late at night. So with that, you pick up the pace more than you've even struggled with learning alchemy. Then thirdly, this is when he has tests for you. He's like, you know how in like biology it would be like,
Yeah.
hey, you have to do this certain task, or in chemistry you have to mix a certain substance a certain way.
Yeah.
He lets you go and do it yourself, and like he'll check it afterwards. And with these, you succeed with flying colors. Eventually, it gets to the point where he's very impressed by your works, and you're ready to keep moving up in that. So, what is your what was your second thing that you're doing?
Second thing is studying just various books in the library.
Okay. Okay. So with studying the books in the library, make an investigation.
More investigation checks. That's a 20 total.
20 total. As you learn in the library, is there anything in particular that you're wanting to learn about?
apple
I
ale.
honestly love learning about everything, especially art and science. Those were always my best subjects. But I'm also interested in learning about the things that I've not been so good at, because in class I noticed that when I studied outside of just the teachings, I did improve and did really well on the tests.
Mhm.
So, kind of like if I notice I'm weak in an area of study, I could try to study it on my own and learn it better.
All right. So, when it comes to learning about art and science, since you already have a general knowledge of it, it only improves your alchemic ways and improves all of your studies when it comes to that. When it comes to the other stuff, you do. What languages do you know?
Currently, I think I only know Common, and then I think there's a language that Tieflings know, maybe, but I could be wrong about that.
Okay, I don't think so, but I'm
And
not
then
sure.
I'm not sure if I've learned the Dwarvish by now, but
You have not.
Okay, so I still need to study it that more, so I'll put that on the list too of stuff to do.
All right. So, you read the books that you can. A lot of them seem to be in different languages, and they seem to be very old, like very dusty, like they haven't been used in a long time. And eventually, you do come across a dwarven book.
Oh, awesome! I'm gonna try to learn more from that, like using my translating from the scroll. Try to piece together what the book might say or what it's about. Just
So like a
anything I can
general
piece
thing.
together.
All right. Make an investigation check with disadvantage.
Understandable. Oh, that sucks. The first one was a 19. Okay, the second one was not a 19. We're gonna have a 15 total.
15. Oh, in general, you know that this seems to be a dwarven lore book. Like it's been written by a dwarven historian.
Interesting. Okay, so I'm definitely more interested in learning from the scroll now about Dwarvish, so that from there I can go to that book.
All right. So, what is your next priority?
Well, now it's definitely learning Dwarvish.
Okay. So roll an investigation.
Okay, that's gonna be a 16 total.
By the end of the year, you are finished.
Yes. I know Dwarvish now?
Yes, you do.
Hey.
And I'll allow you one last priority.
Definitely just staying good at my job. I'm gonna keep coming in at the same early time every day, but
Uh-huh.
I'm not gonna like stay 3 hours late because I'm gonna do alchemy training. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep coming in early. I'm gonna keep doing my job and doing it well to the best that I can,
Okay.
without overexerting myself.
All right. So, with that, roll a performance check.
All right. 15.
15. You're doing very well in your job, and your pay is well earned.
I like my paycheck, so I appreciate it. Thanks.
All
Let's
right.
go.
So,
Calculate the money now.
calculate the money now. You are now 19.
All right. So okay, 17 to 18. It was 1 gold a day. So that's 365 gold. From 18 to 19, I was paying rent, but I was also earning double. So another 365 gold. For a grand total of 730 gold.
730 gold.
Which I will be converting to 73 platinum.
Nice. You are getting rich. Not rich, but, you know, for someone who's paying half a rent.
My next step is to try to buy the building we're renting from right now.
Okay. All right. So, we're going to make some more improvements. You're doing very well for yourself. So, how much do we have in our pool?
We currently have 23 in the pool.
Okay, that's still quite a bit. So we're getting down to the wire here, and sometimes I want to grant you certain things, but it won't like add up, right? So we're gonna have to be careful with like what we give you because certain things cost more than others. It's not just one for
Right.
everything.
Okay,
So,
gotcha.
What do you have in your strength?
Currently at 10 with 3 points used.
We're gonna upgrade that by 1,
Okay.
just because your merchant stuff.
Yep. All right. Done.
All right. Next is your dexterity. How much do you have in that?
Currently an 8.
And that's how many times have we upgraded that?
Once.
Once. Since it's same with your alchemical training, you need to have a steady hand, so upgrade it by 1.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. Next is what? Constitution?
Yes.
How many times have we upgraded that?
6.
6. And what do you have?
13.
13. We're gonna upgrade that again.
By 1.
Yes, by 1.
Okay. How much does 7 take me down?
7. What number is it again?
What do you mean?
Oh, sorry. I'm just trying to figure this out. Okay, so we've upgraded this 6 times, right?
6 times. This will be the 7th time. Yes. So how much does upgrading it to the 7th time cost?
2.
Okay. All right. Next
And
is intelligence.
wait,
at
did
a
we
14.
upgrade that by 2?
No, I upgraded it by 1.
Yeah, we're upgrading that by 2.
Okay, I gotcha. How much does the 8th one cost?
Minus 3.
You're an expensive one.
So, next is your wisdom or intelligence, right?
Yes.
Okay, so, what number is it?
14.
14. How many times have we upgraded it?
5.
5. We're gonna upgrade that 3 more times.
Nice. That's a good stat.
Yeah, since you've been studying in the books and the alchemical training, it's being upgraded quite a bit. So,
3 more times, so that's 6, 7. That's minus 4, minus.
so give me one at a time. What number is it right now, and how many times have we upgraded?
We just did the 8th upgrade now.
Okay, so that's the first one, right?
No, the first one was the 6th. The second
Okay, wait
one was
one
the
second.
7th.
I'm gonna do it one at a time.
Okay.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 5 to 6, right?
Yes.
Okay. That's gonna be -2.
Yeah. Subtracted 2.
Minus
Then
2 again.
Yep.
And
did
then
that.
minus
3 for the 8th.
yeah.
Yep. Did that.
How many do we have left in our pool?
10.
10? Okay. And what are your stats?
11 strength, 9 dexterity, 15 constitution, 17 intelligence, 11 wisdom, 15 charisma.
Okay. With your wisdom, you've been around this new place quite a bit. I'm gonna say a +2 to your wisdom.
Okay. That makes it the 4th and 5th level, so -2.
Yep. And then for your charisma, how many times have we upgraded that?
5.
5 times. We're gonna upgrade that 2 more times.
So the 6th and 7th is a -4 total, correct?
Okay. Yeah. How much do we have left?
4.
4. All right. I'm gonna let this to be up to you. What do you want to do for these last 4?
So how much does it cost to upgrade to a level 8? That's 3, right?
Level 8 should be 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. That should be 3. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Dang it. I don't have enough to do both of those. Oh, this is where I wish I would know what my class was about to be.
Yes. Well, I mean, obviously you can unlock classes and just not take them.
Well, yeah, but if I'm about to be level 1, I have to have a class, right?
No, you don't. You can. Well, I mean,
Oh.
technically, you can have all your ability score upgrades and then just not be unlocking a class. You can just like keep going without unlocking classes. It just depends
I see
on what you
you're
do.
saying. I see what you're saying.
And just because you get all your ability score modifiers doesn't mean you'll automatically unlock a class at that point.
Right, I understand that. I'm gonna choose to use 3 points to upgrade my intelligence to 18.
To 18, got it. And that is from 6 or 7 to 8, right?
Wait, no, I'm doing that with charisma.
Okay.
7 to 8.
All right. Anything else?
No, nothing else. Well, actually, no, I have 1 more point to expend, so I'm gonna upgrade my dexterity 1 more time.
Okay. Seems like you have pretty balanced stats.
Yeah, I don't have any negatives.
Yeah, and you don't have any 20s either. No 20
True,
in
but I
He's
have
not
dexterity.
even
18.
level 1 yet.
Yeah. Since your pool is 0 now, we cannot upgrade your stats anymore. These are your final stats.
Until I reach level 4 and get a stat improvement.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Didn't even think about that.
Hold on, read off your stats. one
Yeah,
time.
that'd be great.
Okay, we have 11 strength, 10 dexterity, 15 constitution, 17 intelligence, 13 wisdom, and 18 charisma.
So, dang, dude. Nice.
Yeah. Well,
And
all
that
right.
would be a 16 charisma and a 16 intelligence as well if I wasn't a tiefling.
Yeah. Okay, well, what else do you get? Also make sure you add the dwarven language to your languages you know.
I will do that now, yes.
All right.
No
So,
dwarvish!
yes, you do.
Let's go on an adventure.
All right. So, one day you walk into the alchemy place, and it seemed to be tidied up quite a bit. And he looks over at you. Zeth looks over at you with kind of a stern face and says, "Well, you finally have learned all that I can teach you. Now is your test. See if you can be a true alchemist."
course. What must I do?
Well, you must perform 3 tasks. I'm not going to help you in any way, shape, or form. This is all up to what you've learned. First, sorry, give me a second. You're going to make me medicine. Second, you're going to make a deadly poison. And third, if you remember before when I showed you that explosion bottle, you're going to make that. Be careful.
Of course. I will do these to the best of my abilities.
All right. Also, one thing I forgot to mention. You also gain a skill proficiency. Investigation.
Let's go. Sweet.
All right. So, he has all the supplies out before you, organized and put in the right positions. Which one would you like to start with?
Let's start with the explosion.
All right. Make an investigation check.
Hey, we're proficient in that now, boys. 22 total.
You make it perfectly. He shakes it up and throws it at the wall. Works well.
Sweet. All right. Let's move on to the deadly poison.
All right. Roll a investigation.
Another 22 total.
All right. You make it. He slowly pours the poison on some of the wood table and it eats away at the wood. He says, "Good job. Now, finally, the medicine, the most important one, the one that you will be that you will be making the most money off of if you would want to sell that."
I see. Well, on to this task. And I'm going to do my best to make the medicine.
All right. With that, make a wait. Medicine is an actual like intelligence check, right?
No, it's a wisdom check.
Oh, just do an intelligence check to make it.
So just
Investigation.
basic intelligence?
No, investigation. Sorry.
Oh, sweet. Okay, not terrible. 19 total.
19. You make it almost perfectly. He applies it to some of his burn marks that he's had through mishaps with chemical explosions, and as you look down at it, it slowly starts to heal. He says, "Congratulations. I think it's finally time for you to see if you can take over as one of the assistant alchemists. And I'm going to call you an official alchemist." And he looks over at you and puts out his hand to shake it.
Is this class? I shake his hand.
And as you do, you have finally unlocked the alchemist class.
Sweet.
Do you wish to take it?
Yes.
All right.
I'm
So-
embracing my destiny.
You are officially locked in at level 1. This is how we're going to end it. I'm going to, this is the final thing that we're going to do for tonight, as I'm going to explain to you Alchemist. Later on, I can share with you the PDF of the Alchemist class, but for now, I'm just going to explain to you what you get. So, basically, the class features are, your hit dice is 1d8 per Alchemist level. So if you want to roll that real quick.
Wait, down at level 1, you just start
Oh,
with
yeah,
the eight.
yeah. It's 8 plus your Constitution modifier.
Ooh, yeah, it is.
What's your health now?
That's a 13 now.
Man, your health's pretty good.
That's a tank at
Gonna
level
be
1.
pretty litty.
All right. You do not get any proficiencies because you need to roleplay those out. That'll be like unlocking through level 1 and higher if
Okay.
you don't do it.
I see what you're saying.
You don't get any equipment because you need to buy what you want to buy.
Right, understood.
So alchemy. The science of alchemy is more subtle than typical magic, and does not follow the same rules as spellcasting. Instead of plucking out an invisible strands of raw magic in the world, alchemists mix mundane and magical ingredients together into concoctions and use a chemical catalyst to expedite this process, in the process called alchemical catalyzation. alchemical catalyzation. In order to perform alchemy quickly, an alchemist must use a proprietary catalyst only they know, which is represented by catalyst points. So this is kind of like your spell slots or whatever. The alchemist table shows how many catalyst points you have at each level. As a bonus action on your turn, you may spend a number of catalyst points to create one concoction. The maximum number of catalyst points you may spend as a part of a single bonus action, known your action limit, is also shown in your alchemist table. So right now, you can write this down somewhere. Put down catalyst points 3 and action limit 2.
Okay.
So the maximum number of catalyst points you can spend as part of a single bonus action is 2.
Okay.
In addition to creating concoctions, you can also spend catalyst points to alchemically alter substances in one of the following ways. You can you might want to write this down in like features and traits. You can rapidly change the temperature of a substance. This change is enough to melt ice or freeze water, but not enough to melt metal or light a fire. Let me know when you're done.
Alrighty.
You can also purify drink or food, rendering it free of contaminants that may cause poison or disease.
Alrighty.
And then this is not one you have to write down. You can alter 1 cubic foot of material for each catalyst point spent. You regain all expended catalyst points after completing 1 long rest. And then concoctions.
How many catalyst points did you say that cost?
For what?
To do that.
To alter 1 cubic foot of material for each catalyst point. You can alter 1 foot for each catalyst point spent.
Okay.
So, concoctions. Concoctions are the alchemical way that spells are to a wizard. Your intelligence represents the ability to understand the I forget that word, sorry, of chemical formulas, and thus determines the effectiveness of your concoctions. You can use your intelligence modifier when setting the saving throw DC for a concoction. So your concoction save is 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus your intelligence modifier.
Okay, so currently that would be a 13.
Cool. Concoctions are often unstable, making them difficult to store for extended periods. You may safely stockpile concoctions only up to the total catalyst point value of your proficiency bonus times your level.
Okay.
So, I'm going to skip over this. Skip over that. Okay. Actually, this doesn't make much sense. It says you have catalyst points, but you don't have any discoveries.
I don't know what discoveries are. So.
Discoveries are like to make things that you can use. Like, you spend alchemical points to do a discovery, like make one. Like basically, you discover something to make.
Okay, so I would have to spend the catalyst points I have to make a discovery.
No, to find a discovery in the first place, you need to be level 2. But you still have catalyst points anyways, which doesn't make much sense.
Yeah, because I can't really use them for anything, right?
Yeah, I don't think you can at level 1.
Dang. Oh well.
So you might have to wait till level 2 to be able to do that.
Fine, we'll grind our way there.
All right.
Getting more and more proficiencies as we go.
Yes. Sorry. At first level, you have made your first discoveries and know how to make the following concoctions. As an alchemist, you gain the additional discoveries at certain levels. Oh, so you do get this. Okay.
Okay, I get some base level 1.
Yes.
What
So
is that?
actually, they represent the ones that you were actually studying. Potion. Potions are a liquid concoction that must be ingested and used to restore hit points by or applying other beneficial effects. At first level, you know how to craft basic potions. Consuming and or administering a potion requires a bonus action or action and restores hit points equal to your proficiency bonus plus 1d6 for each catalyst spent to create the potion.
Okay, so proficiency bonus plus catalyst used
Mm-hmm.
is the what?
Is how much hit points you regain when drinking it.
Okay, cool.
So, poison. Poisons are chemical concoctions designed to cause biological harm. At the first level, you know how to craft the following types of poisons. Contact. I'm going to skip over the description because they're kind of self-explanatory. Ingested, inhaled, and injury. This poison can be applied to weapons, ammunition, and trap components. And later on, it says, as a bonus action or action on their turn, a creature can use or apply a single dose of poison according to its type. A creature affected by poison must succeed a Constitution saving throw against your concoction save DC, or take 1d6 poison damage for each catalyst point spent to create the poison, and must be poisoned for 1 minute. On a successful save, the damage is reduced to half.
Okay, how much damage does it do?
1d6 poison damage.
D6 and is poisoned for a minute.
Yes. Well, each round they have a saving throw, but other than that, yes.
Gotcha. Okay. Can I run to the restroom real quick?
Yes, you can.
Gotcha. Thank you. I will be right back.
So, Tyler, what do you think about all this?
Pretty lit, dude. This system, I didn't realize that there are like actual systems to these tools and stuff.
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
I'm trying to like understand kind of
Like all the
oh, shoot,
alchemic
there's, like-
stuff.
yeah. Well, I mean, and I'm meant to keep that in mind too for when I play. I think it's Argath, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Depending on what tools he learns and stuff, I'm meant to keep the system in mind.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, everything you do has consequences. So,
Right. Right.
what do you think of
Agree.
him being able to create poisons and potions?
I think poisons are going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, they are.
Just why not poison someone just for whatever? And then I think healing potions are going to be huge. Like if he ends up in a party,
Yeah,
which he already met Ben's character.
yeah, he did.
So
Mainly
I mean,
Ben's cousin, but it's fine.
Hmm. And this is the final thing that you get. Bomb.
Okay.
Bombs are volatile concoctions designed to detonate in a wide area, causing physical harm or damage. As an action on your turn, a creature can throw a bomb at a point within 30 feet, causing a bomb to detonate. Creatures within 5 feet of the bomb, when it detonates, must succeed a dexterity saving throw against your concoction save DC. And take 1d6 fire damage for each catalyst point spent to create the bomb. On a successful save, take half damage. So yeah, and on structures, the damage is doubled.
Okay, so it's their Constitution versus Concoction save.
Yep.
And then what's the damage?
1d6 fire damage.
Plus a minute of burning.
No, not a minute of burning.
Oh, I don't know why I thought that.
All right, well, that's it. That's your class. Now, obviously, you are going to be able to get some armor, weapons, tools, and saving throws and skill proficiencies through your level 1 experience, but you're going to have to make a little bit more work for that.
Right, understandable.
So yeah, would you like to end it off with anything?
A celebratory glass of my current apple ale recipe.
Yes, you drink it full-heartedly, knowing that you are now an official alchemist. But a long journey lies ahead. And we will see you next time with the Chronicles of Lilro Chapter 3. And if you're watching this live or are able to watch our next live stream, we will be with Tyler with what's your name again, Tyler?
Argath.
Argath. He's going to be playing quite a different character. It's going to be interesting. So
Tomorrow at noon Eastern.
yes, tomorrow at noon. So please tune in for the next episode